Oh my God. We're coming to do live shows in Melbourne and Sydney coming up. Dave, what are the details?
We are coming up to Sydney very, very soon, live Saturday, July 13th, 2024 at the Ritz Cinema in Randwick, our first podcast in Sydney in almost 2 years. What a great venue. Come on down.
So excited. And then, Dave, you and I are going to be doing a live Who Knew It with Matt Stewart at 3 p.m. on August the 3rd at Comedy Republic. It's the 100th episode. Whoa.
It is so exciting. And Jess, where can people get tickets?
At dogoonpod.com. You really put me on the spot there, and I did okay.
They say opposites attract. That's why the Sleep Number Smart Bed is the best bed for couples. You want a bed that feels firm, but they want soft? Sleep Number does that. You want to sleep cooler while they like to feel warm? Sleep Number does that too. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number number 1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, Sleep Number Smart Beds start at $999. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Perkins.
I think it was just one episode ago that we both decided that Jess cares about being first and I don't, so you were just going to start doing hers first, and you straight away did me first there, Dave.
He's all about equality.
Did we actually discuss that?
I don't remember.
Because I was away last week. Did something happen when I wasn't here?
Week before. Sometime recently.
Sometime very recently. I do remember having that conversation. I can't remember the conclusion we came to.
I try to go 50-50 overall.
I think keep that up. But I care.
Just go Jess first.
Okay, fantastic.
No, because that feels patronising. I want to earn it.
It will be.
Yeah, so
what about featuring Jess Perkins and introducing Matt Stewart?
I like that. Yeah, or no, it makes more sense that I'm last anyway, and... You know, it's like the old guy in the cast.
Oh, with.
Always, with.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And they're like...
Cagney and Lacey. Is that an old actor? That's two characters,
Two
isn't
characters,
it?
yes.
You want it to be like a famous old actor's come back for
a
another
cameo
role.
type.
Jack Lemmon.
Yes.
Is that an actor or is that a flavour?
That's an actor.
Okay.
But a fantastic flavour as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dave, what is this show and how does it work and what's it about?
We take it in turns here to report on a topic often suggested to us by one of the listeners. We go away, do a little bit of research, bathe in the topic, get to know the topic, wine and dine the topic, and then we bring it back to the class or the group in the form of a report. It is Jess Perkins' turn to tell us about something. And Matt and I don't actually know what you're going to talk about. It's always a secret.
Do.
So,
as far as metaphors go, that was a little bit mixed. So we're taking it away. We're getting it drunk.
Yeah,
We're feeding it, and then bringing it to school, Dave. What the hell is going on here?
Teachers.
What are you doing in this report?
Teachers go to school.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm dating the principal. And things are going great.
And that's a fantastic job to have.
Exactly.
It is. It's the boss. You're school boss.
Boss of a school.
Boss of the whole school.
That's an absolute dream.
Yeah. Man, if I even one day get to senior vice principal, I'll be stoked.
Senior vice principal. Yeah, that's the dream.
Keep trying, buddy. And Jess, it's your turn to tell us about a topic. And like I said, we don't know what it's going to be, so we always start with a question to get us on the topic.
My question is, who terrorised New York City for 16 years in the 40s and 50s?
Jack Lemmon.
It was not Jack Lemmon. He did no terrorising.
Sorry. He was a thriller, though. He was a thrill.
He was a beautiful performer.
Yeah, okay.
Great to watch. I don't think you'll have heard of this.
Oh, okay.
But you can make some stuff up if you want to.
Well, is there a name? Is there a way we could get this right, or should we just move on?
Yeah, there is. It's like the of New York.
The something strangler?
Ooh, no.
Something killer.
No.
Something stalker?
No.
Sniper.
No.
Something cuddler?
No.
What about coddler?
Not coddler.
Cobbler?
No. We're getting honestly further away.
Okay, that's good to know.
Think
Something
about
colder.
thinking about. I don't know how to give you a clue. Right.
The feral.
No,
Is it a killer?
it's not a killer.
Okay. Oh.
It's not called a killer.
But they terrorize.
But they are a killer.
But it's,
we
it's
don't
something
know.
you might use.
Kidnapper.
Oh, the bludgeoner.
No.
The hammer? Harry Hammer.
A bit more like.
The weapon.
A bit more explosive.
Oh, the bomber.
The something bomber.
The
Johnny
New York
Bomber.
New York City bomber.
No, it's the something
Manhattan
bomber
bomber.
of New York. So.
Oh. The,
So it's more like think of like a character from
Jack Lemmon.
a character from like Alice in Wonderland is
the Mad Hatter bomber.
Take out the Hatter.
The Mad Bomber
Yes.
of New York. Wow.
The Mad Bomber of New
How
York.
does he do
If
it?
we could just trim that down, edit that down, AJ, our fantastic editor. If you could get that down so
Just
I
to
just
you.
go bang.
Yeah. And we go, whoa!
Yeah, the Mad Hatter bomber.
How did he do it?
Because that would also make it a little less tedious for the listeners who, for the most part, know what the topic is already.
You're
'Cause it
driving,
is the name of the
driving your car, it's on your dashboard, you're on the train, you're looking at it on your phone. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So sorry about that if that was tedious, but hopefully it was also a little bit of fun.
But also intrigued, the Mad Hatter bomber?
the Mad Bomber.
Oh, sorry.
No Hatter. No Hatter.
Slightly less intriguing.
There's no hat.
It's
This
still
is
pretty cool.
intriguing. So it's the Mad Hatter of New York.
Sorry. Make up my own
the
podcast.
Man Hats. Wow.
Oh, Manhattan.
Oh,
my God.
gosh, of New York.
It's all coming
Oh my
together.
God. I finally understand what's going on.
Wow. I think I get geography now, somehow.
Dave, what do you call a hat maker?
A
Milliner?
Milliner.
Millinery.
Milliner?
Yeah.
The Mad Milliner of Manhattan.
Oh, my God.
That's what I would have called him.
The Milli Vanilli Vanilla.
So close. You were so close to
No.
saying
To
part of that
perfection.
correctly.
To
Oh my
perfection.
God, did you see him?
No.
I know. I didn't realise he fumbled it. Oh,
Start again.
buddy.
From the top.
Stop the show.
I know. So cute. You've never looked so pathetic.
Dave, that's your one thing you can do is string a sentence together.
Yeah,
if
if
you
you can't
lose
do
that,
that,
then you've lost
Then
everything.
we're all fucked.
I know.
Because I don't know anything. Matt can't talk. We need you.
We need you,
We
Dave.
need you. I'm just here because I have a laugh that people sometimes enjoy the sound of, but mostly hate.
No, it's
I
the other
go,
way around.
And they go, it's fun.
Most
That's
people-
the only reason I'm here. It's all I contribute.
No,
we need you.
your
I'm not being
brows.
self-deprecating. I do have fantastic eyebrows. You're right.
They're really
But that's
good.
all down to Alicia, the girl who does my
Oh,
brows.
okay, that's more
not
of an
me.
Alicia
It's an
compliment.
Alicia thing.
Alicia is also my vocal coach.
Ah, she's
you,
very
Alicia.
multi-talented. Okay. The Mad Hatter. Damn it! The Mad Bomber.
I'm still so intrigued. What does that mean?
The Mad Bomber of New York.
Never
Okay.
heard. Never
Suggested
heard
by two people. This one wasn't voted on
We've
by the
also had
Patreon.
we've had the Mad Trapper before. Is that confusing us? Mad Hatter, Mad Trapper is
No.
very similar.
You're right.
Yes.
Mad Trapper of Rat River.
Of Hat River, which is what the river in New York could be called.
It's all coming together.
What's it called? What's that river called?
Hudson.
Hudson. We know it because that guy dropped a plane in it once.
Dropped is, yeah, I guess is a way of landing a plane.
I think there's also the East River.
Oh my God.
That could be Hat River.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's looking for a name. Anyway, sorry,
Okay,
Jess.
back over here.
All right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Juggling keys, trying to get
So
your attention.
not suggested by anyone. This
No,
is-
it has been suggested. It wasn't voted on by the
because
Patrons.
you're on the free choice at the moment.
On the
Matt
free
and I,
choice.
we're being voted for by people on Patreon.
But
Thank you.
actually, this one was one of the topics I put up for the vote for my last topic when I did the Pierre Hotel heist.
Ooh, it's a vote loser.
Yeah, and I in sort of reading a little bit about it, to put it up for the vote, make sure there was enough there. I was like, that'd be kind of interesting. I'll keep that in mind. And then I'm on free choice. I thought I'll give it a go because a few people voted for this as well. But it was suggested by Tim Randall from Brisbane and Truman from Virginia. So anybody can suggest a topic, by the way. If there's a story that you've come across that you think would make a fun do go on, put it in the hat. There's a link in the show notes or it's on our website. Go do that.
Randall.
So here's the story of the Mad Bomber of New York. In mid-November 1940, a wooden toolbox was left on a windowsill at the Consolidated Edison Power Plant at 170 West 64th Street in Manhattan. Inside it was a crudely made bomb filled with gunpowder with an ignition mechanism made of sugar and flashlight batteries.
Oh.
Luckily, the toolbox of bomb were found before the bomb went off. A note was wrapped around the bomb, and written in distinctive block letters was the message, "Con Edison crooks, this is for you." Signed
Ooh.
FP. Investigators wondered if the bomb was an intentional dud, since if it had exploded, no one would see the note.
I was just thinking that. What's the point of writing the note if it's going to go off?
That's very funny.
It'll just
I was
explode.
not thinking that.
Yeah, so they're kind of like, is it maybe just more of a threat?
But it'd be what a full-on way to get the note in pieces. And being taken out of your body, with tweezers.
Bit by bit.
With shrapnel.
What if it was attached to the bomb somehow? So someone said, "Oh, whose toolbox is this?" And they pick up the letter, and that's like attached to the fuse.
Yeah.
And it's on a 5-second delay. "This is for you." Hang on, that's me.
Bang.
Boom.
FP, I assume Football Park in
Okay.
Adelaide, the
Okay.
old football ground.
That's an interesting early guess. Dave, did you want to have a stab, or do you want to wait for more
Remind
information?
me of the FP context.
That's how the letter's signed off, FP.
Okay. It could be Freddie Prinze Senior.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't use the senior.
He didn't know he was going to be a
need
senior yet.
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze.
He didn't. There
Because
was no
1940
junior.
was
There was
before
no
Freddie
junior.
Prinze Jr. was born.
Yeah.
I assume.
I think so.
Yeah.
He is old.
Is he? Yeah, okay, there you go.
Well, older than me, so old.
Just right off the bat, 1940, this is what America gets for cowardly staying out of the war.
Don't worry, they're in it so soon.
Yeah, I know, I'm a little joke there. little bit of ribbon for our northern neighbours.
Come on.
Come on, follow in blindly like we did.
We love to just follow.
Again.
Yeah.
The following year, in September of 1941, a bomb with a similar ignition mechanism was found lying in the street about 5 blocks away from the Consolidated Edison headquarters building in Irving Place. This one had no note, but was also a dud. Police theorised that the bomber might have spotted a police officer and dropped the bomb without setting its fuse. So they found another bomb close to the headquarters. Shortly after the US entered World War II, in December of 1941...
Out of shame.
Out of shame and
From their
embarrassment.
gentle ribbing from down under. They're definitely paying attention.
They think about us a lot.
They think about us heaps.
We live rent-free.
Yeah. God, they were obsessed with
They're
us,
obsessed
aren't
with us. Well, they were briefly in the 80s when Crocodile Dundee came
they? Yeah.
out.
You arses.
So the US entered World War II. The police receive a letter. The letter says, "I will make no more bomb units for the duration of the war. My patriotic feelings have made me decide this. Later, I will bring the Con Edison to justice. They will pay for their dastardly deeds." Once again, signed FP.
Well, doesn't this prove my point? If they'd just joined the war straight away, none of these dud bombs that didn't do anything wouldn't have been left. They wouldn't have had anything to clean up.
Yeah.
Also, there's con guys. They're one of the few people in America hoping that the war doesn't end. They wanted to go forever so they can just keep working at the power plant. No one will ever drop a bomb off
Yeah,
here.
just leave us alone. Oh, come on. Surely we could war a little longer.
Yeah, come on. Technically, we're still going, aren't we, somewhere?
It's like hitting snooze. They're just like, more war, please.
I think there might have been. There's probably a few weapons manufacturers who are pretty happy with it being drawn out.
True.
That's true, actually.
Who are
Women-
con whatever?
Women who were
Women would have
had
been
a
sick
job
because
for
they
a
got to
bit.
play baseball.
They got to play baseball. Then we got to make movies about them playing baseball, which was really fun. They got to make machinery sometimes. And
Yeah.
pretty
Just
good
get
stuff.
out of the house.
Pretty good stuff.
Take off the apron for a bit.
Stretch.
Really let the legs
Yeah.
stretch out.
Stretch your legs.
You know how cumbersome and how constricting an apron is?
Very. Especially around the legs.
Yeah. Especially if you tie the...
You got to waddle.
Yeah.
You got to sort of shuffle around the kitchen. It's really hard.
It's hard. It
Burn your scones.
makes little sense. And your scones being your butt, right? You feel
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because you accidentally back it into the stove. Oh, I burnt my scones. Oh, dear. Oh, not again. I burnt my scones.
And that's an American woman, is it?
Was that Midwest?
Yes. Oh, yes. Burnt my scones. Burnt my biscuits. Lordy. Was that still sound English?
No.
No,
It was a perfect switch.
Okay, great.
That was actually very good. Because I threw you under the bus a little bit there, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
But
I
you
forgot
just-
where we were.
But you just went straight. It was beautiful. Your question was who are these people? It's a power plant, power distribution company.
Gotcha.
What you got to need to know is they're crooks.
Okay.
For some reason.
For some reason.
Dastardly crooks.
They've done dastardly deeds.
And they've pissed off Freddie Prinze.
And Freddie Prinze, FP, has said, I'm not making any bombs for the war, okay? I'm a patriot. And true to his word, FP did not plant a bomb for the next 10 years. I'll use he.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case the war was still going somewhere.
That's right. Between 1941 and 1951, FP wrote letters to police stations, newspapers, and to Con Edison. But by early 1951, he was back to his bomb-making ways. Given the 10-year hiatus and also the improvement in the quality of the bombs, led investigators to believe that perhaps the bomber had served in the military during World War II.
Oh, that's clever. He's like, it's just because I'm a patriot. I'm sitting at home, certainly not because I'm not in the country.
Yeah.
I'm just choosing not to right now.
Choosing not to because I'm a patriot.
And that's a patriot, not someone who enlists to fight for their country. They're not a patriot.
No.
They're not a patriot.
Now, can I just double check the whereabouts of Florence Pugh during the war?
Okay.
Because FP, that's my second possible bomber. Football Park or Florence Pugh?
Okay.
Who is Florence Pugh a person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic actor.
Yeah, great. Well, then,
and we're going to have to edit all that out because it is Florence Pugh and you've spoilt it immediately.
Florence Pugh.
I was building a lot of tension, but yeah, it was
Okay.
Florence Pugh in the 40s.
Oh, no. That's the clue, I think. Florence Pugh in the 40s. With the candlestick.
With a candlestick. See? So this time, FP wanted to actually get some attention. The first two bombs hadn't really got the response that he'd hoped for. So for his new wave of bombings, FP mainly chose public buildings as targets, bombing several of them multiple times. It all started in March 29th, 1951. That was sort of his return to terrorism. And the first bomb...
The big return.
The first bomb to actually explode.
Okay.
The bomb had been dropped in a sand urn, which it's like an ashtray, in Grand Central, outside the Grand Central Oyster Bar and Restaurant on the terminal's lower level. The explosion...
That's still there and quite famous.
I think it is, yeah.
You can get oysters there.
Has he got...
And probably drink.
Who's his problem with? Because this feels a bit more... Like anyone could be having oysters. But he's saying this is specifically for some guy at Con something?
For, like, the power plant. But when he left bombs there... didn't really get reported. Police didn't really do anything. It didn't create enough attention, so he's got to go wider.
Okay.
Is their guess.
Yeah.
So the explosion startled commuters, but luckily no one was injured.
Startled. Oh, what was that? Anyway, I guess I'll go about the rest of my day.
To be honest, I don't think these are big bombs. Like they're not big explosions. You'll hear later that sometimes they almost go unnoticed, really.
It feels like an era of like kids using firecrackers and stuff. So
yeah,
there's like
true.
little pranks.
Yeah, cars backfiring.
Yeah, so is it really
an era of cars backfiring?
Terrible engines.
But also, it sounds like he could have got a similar result by going around at the train station going, oh, you startled me.
Anyway, on with my day. I'm uninjured and I'll get on my train now. The very next month, a bomb exploded, again without injury, in a phone booth at Grand Central. Initially, police dismissed the event as the work of boys or pranksters, exactly as you're saying.
Right, is the Dennis the Menace up to it again?
Yeah, kids just being little rascals.
Okay, so the P's for prankster.
Okay.
What's the F for?
Fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say fun time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, both options.
I think fun
prankster?
time sounds more 1940s to me. Fun time, prankster.
Okay. But say fucking prankster in that voice.
Fucking prankster. No, that wasn't the voice, was it?
No, it's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't swear in that accent.
It doesn't work.
Shit. Doesn't work.
Yeah, you could say like clam chowder.
Yeah.
But you can't, say cunt and fuck.
You can't say it. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Maybe they didn't swear back then. The press...
Were the words invented yet?
Oh, probably
yeah,
not.
probably
That's
not.
probably it.
The
Yeah,
language, it evolves.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's liquid. It's fluid. It's runny.
So yeah, police are kind of dismissing these small bombs. The press didn't really pick up the story, and if they did,
It's so sad for whoever this is. They just want their little bit of attention.
just a bit of attention. Nobody's giving you attention.
Page 17, there's a little article. will be boys.
Oh, it was literally.
He's like, no, I'm a man.
I'm a big man. I'm at least 5'6".
5'6".
5'6". One of the newspapers had like a paragraph about it on page 24. Like, you're absolutely right. It was
Really?
It was not pressing news.
Commuters salute hilarious prank by young boys.
In October, though, the New York Herald Tribune received a letter in block letters. That's a confusing sentence, but you know what I mean. Bombs will continue until the Consolidated Edison Company is brought to justice for their dastardly acts against me. I have exhausted all other means. I intend with bombs to cause others to cry out for justice for me. So it's just about getting more attention, raising awareness.
Right.
He's bombing for awareness.
You know who writes in block letters? Kids.
Oh.
Little boys.
Pranksters.
That's true.
Pranksters.
But also people with fancy pants. So I'm just saying, could it be a fancy pants top?
Wow.
So that's my third
Yes.
suspect.
And so far we have...
Football Park.
Yes.
Florence Pugh. Fancy pants.
Okay. God.
I'm sitting over here on Freddie Prinze.
Yeah, you stayed...
You're sitting on him. Just stay quiet,
Yeah,
Freddie.
shut up, Freddie. This is a citizen's arrest. I know you did this.
So it was another letter from FP. The letter detailed the location of 2 bombs, one at the Paramount Theatre in Times Square and one in a telephone booth at Penn Station. Police investigated and found and disabled the bomb at the theatre, but they didn't find anything in the telephone booth.
Uh-oh.
Jeez, that should be the easiest to find.
We searched this whole theatre. All right, search this whole telephone booth.
Coming up with
here.
nothing. We'll get our best man on it.
In November, a locker at the 14th Street subway station was bombed, again with no one injured. The Herald Tribune once again received a letter. Have you noticed the bombs in your city? If you are worried, I am sorry, and also if anyone is injured. But it cannot be helped, for justice will be served. I am not well, and for this I will make the Con Edisons sorry. Yes, they will regret their dastardly deeds. I will bring them before the bar of justice. Public opinion will condemn them, for beware, I will place more units under theatre seats in the near future.
Whoa.
FP.
It's brutal because so far it seems like no one's really noticed. He's like, aha, you're scared now, aren't you?
If you're-
What?
What's
Sorry,
that?
who are you?
What's
Sorry?
happening? A bomb?
And if people are injured, no, we've had no reports of any
nobody's
injuries.
injured, yeah.
Sorry.
Everyone's fine, actually.
As long as you-
Startled.
Started by
Sure.
a few pranks from some fun little boys.
But, no injuries or noticing any
gosh.
bombings. Is everything okay?
Checked all the hospitals. Everyone's fine.
Everyone's okay.
Yeah, there's like illness is down.
Everyone's up because they're laughing so much at the pranks. Such a fun thing.
We're going to find these little boys and give them the key to the city.
Well done, little boys.
You've saved America. Over the next 5 years, bombs were left in phone booths, storage lockers, and restrooms in public buildings, including 5 times in Grand Central Terminal, 5 times at Penn Station, 3 times at Radio City Music Hall, twice at the New York Public Library, twice at the Port Authority bus terminal, as well as in the New York City subway. So they're just bombs everywhere.
Whoa, and still no injuries? Did any books get hurt?
Yeah, I don't know where in the library.
Right.
So it's hard to say. So I can neither confirm or deny that books were injured.
Okay. I mean, most places in a library, there'll be books.
Yeah, not in the toilet.
That's true.
So
Someone could be reading
And
on the toilet.
He does seem to like dropping bombs in the toilets,
Yep.
so to speak.
So to speak. FP also bombed movie theaters where he cut into seat upholstery and slipped his explosive devices inside. So it'd be inside a seat.
Oh, come on.
People are, because the explosives are so low that people will be like, oh, is this a 4D theater?
Yeah, wow. A little rumble.
They've timed that exactly when Bruce Willis threw a grenade or something.
So exciting. A bomb in December of 1952 was the first to cause injury. An explosion from a bomb left in the seats at Lexington Avenue Theatre injured 1 person. I'm unsure how severely, but I think relatively okay.
So they got started and they cut them. They got a paper cut from the popcorn box
Possibly.
or something. Ow!
Ow! Oh, fuck. Right in like the little, those little bits between your fingers. Hurts.
The hospital report lists their injury as startlement. Okay, yeah.
I was a bit startled.
Well,
we
we'll
got a bit
keep you
startled.
overnight for observation.
My heart really, because we're bored here. No one is coming in anymore. Everyone's laughing so much that I need medicine.
So look, yeah,
So if you could
you
stay
rest
in.
up as long as you like.
Hey, while you're in, want to get the lips done?
Can I get you some Jello?
Can
Yeah,
we
stuff like that.
into your lips?
Jello into your lips?
That'd be fun for us.
It's very early. It's early days. in lip surgery back then.
Lip surgery.
Back in the day, they're just like, what if we tried this injection?
Yeah, we'll inject
Jello?
Put that in there.
We tried chocolate, didn't work.
Put jelly in your butt. Too jiggly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want it like that. Up to this point, police had asked the newspapers to downplay the bombing and not to print any of the bombers' letters. But by now, the public were becoming aware of a mad bomber on the loose. So finally...
You've been bombing a city, one of the world's biggest cities, for 10 years.
Yeah.
No article's been written about you. No one cares. How sad is that?
But doesn't that just show how passionate he is?
Yeah.
Because, like...
Doesn't give up.
Like a lot of people in the arts, for instance, you have to really want it. You have to keep forging ahead while no one's paying any attention to you. I guess he's had that sort of drive.
Right, he could be like an overnight 15 years bombing success.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
He could be the Huey Lewis of his day.
Exactly right. You just got to stick at it. A bomb wedged behind a sink in Grand Central Terminal's men's room exploded in March of 1954, slightly injuring 3 men. Slightly. Some of the instances of bombings are truly strange. I got this one from wikipedia.org, which I think is like a bomb website. I'd go there with caution if I were you. You'll end up on the list. But
Sounds explosive.
says... you enjoyed that the most.
No, he did a regret face.
Yeah, but then he does the... He's having a good time. As a capacity Radio City Music Hall audience of 6,200 watched Bing Crosby's White Christmas on November 7, 1954.
Not Bing.
More like Bang Crosby that night.
A bomb stuffed into the bottom cushion of a seat in the 15th row exploded, injuring 4 patrons. The explosion was muffled by the heavy upholstery, and only those nearby heard it. While the film continued...
I can picture it. What a great moment that would have been. Excuse me.
Everybody would have loved
that. Would have
that.
killed.
Incredible.
Row 17 would have pissed themselves at that. That's good stuff.
You're dining out on that story for the rest of your life. And then the bomb goes off, and I say, screws on.
And honestly, the injuries were pretty bad. My butt has seen better days, but worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it.
So
I
good.
killed at Radio City.
But the nurse injected some jelly in there. My butt's never looked jigglier. So, only people nearby heard it. While the film continued, the injured were escorted to the facility's first aid room, and about 50 people in the immediate area were moved to the back of the theatre. After the film and the following stage show concluded, an hour and a half later, the police roped off 150 seats in the area of the explosion and began the search for evidence.
They let a live show go
The
ahead?
show must go on.
Actually wrote it down.
That's great. And also, how annoying for those people. They've paid for row 15.
Yeah.
Now they're back in row 80.
I know, and you're like, no, there's a difference in price here,
Yeah,
big time.
I need you to pay the difference.
Yeah, I want a refund. But isn't that crazy? A bomb goes off, only a few people in the area are aware of it, and everybody else is just enjoying a movie.
That's the power of Bing.
When you said Bing, I assumed live as well.
Me too. I thought Bing, because now we know it's like a live venue, but I guess it was the theatre and live venue.
Yeah, they were watching the movie.
And you said there was a performance as well.
Yeah, there was some sort of stage show after that as well.
Big night out.
There's a lot going on.
Okay, 4th possible suspect.
Okay.
Fetal position. Someone in the fetal. They sign off.
Yep.
They
They sign off.
with FP.
FP, gotcha, yep.
Because they're lying in their shower in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Are the notes wet?
Some of them.
Yeah. Okay.
You knew it.
I knew it.
So give us
Who knew it?
Give us your 4 FPs again.
Matt Stewart. Football park. Florence Pugh. Fancy pants. Or fetal position.
Okay, great. Dave, any new additions, or you
I'm
want to
thinking-
keep sitting on Freddie Prinze?
I'm sitting on Freddie Prinze. I'm
Okay.
going to stick with that.
Okay, great. So, yeah, that was one of the. I didn't need to go through and list every single bombing because most of them are fairly small. Nobody's injured, but that one is kind of wild. In 1956, a 74-year-old men's room attendant at Penn Station was seriously injured when a bomb in a toilet bowl exploded. A young man had reported an obstruction and the attendant tried to clear it using a plunger.
Oh, no.
Among the porcelain fragments, investigators found a watch frame and a wool sock. They sort of came to figure out that there was often a wool sock at the site, and they figured that's probably how he was transporting the bomb places, just in a sock. Anyway, so that men's room attendant was injured, but not fatally.
Are we going to, like, if you're on the force here, Dave, are you going, all right, I want a list of every sock shop in the tri-state area.
You're damn right I am.
Yeah.
I'm going through sock by sock.
Yeah.
And I'm checking people's legs, and if they're only wearing one sock,
they're
a suspect.
They're on a list.
Yeah. A watch list.
Yep.
I think we're getting close here.
Yeah.
Now, does Florence Pugh wear socks?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
At all,
ever.
Well.
I've never seen Florence Pugh wearing socks.
And if they're not on her feet, where are they? Used to make bombs. Yeah, I think Pugh's gone to the top of the list.
Actually,
above
being a person who's
defunct AFL venue football park.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, by the way, what a funny name.
Football park.
What a funny name for an arena or a stadium.
Very literal, isn't it?
What do you do there? Play football.
I was watching The Retirement Plan, a Nicolas Cage movie that came out last year, and it's terrible. It's like an action kind of comedy. Mm-hmm. He's great in it, as always, because he's at 110 on the Nick Cage scale. But he is reunited. He's a grandfather now, reunited with his estranged granddaughter that he didn't even know existed. She's sent to him.
She's sent to
him for protection, because it's like it's an action heisty thriller type thing. And he just looks at her one day and he goes, "Oh, you like football?" And then he points to a T-shirt, and it doesn't have the name of a team or anything. It just says football.
That's funny.
That's good stuff.
I don't know if they were doing it on purpose. The rest of the movie did not track with that.
You like football? That's got to be a bit. I watched his one about being in everyone's dreams during the week as well.
Oh, yep.
That was a bit of...
I can't remember what that's called.
It's called like Dream Scenario or something like that.
I haven't seen it. Bit of fun?
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
I didn't mind it.
Love to have it.
Not a lot of action, though, so Dave might not enjoy it.
A lot of action in this movie.
Yeah, well, this is the opposite end.
Okay.
Very little action. There's a few sort of horror type scenes, but not really.
Not for me, thanks. I don't like to be spooked.
No, it's not spooky.
Well, what is it?
It's, there's just some nightmare sequences.
I don't like that.
Okay.
So we're up to 1956. That when the bomb goes off in the toilet. Also that year, a guard at the RCA building in Rockefeller Center discovered a piece of pipe about 5 inches long in a telephone booth. A second guard thought it might be useful in a plumbing project and took it home on the bus to New Jersey, where it exploded on his kitchen table early the next morning.
When he wasn't there?
Again, no one was injured.
Oh, that's great. I'm thinking on the bus.
Yeah, no, he's taken a bomb home thinking that's going to be handy for a plumbing project at home.
What is he doing at home with a plumbing project? What's going on there?
Fixing a toilet or something, Dave? Showers?
Imagine if he got it all the way into
What do you mean? What's he doing at home with a plumbing project?
I imagine some sort of
Does your bathroom not... Does your kitchen... hang on. Does your house not have plumbing?
Oh, my God, no.
We shit in a bucket.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing can go wrong with my bucket. I was imagining some sort of high school style, project.
Like a volcano.
Yeah, more like a renovation type project.
I could use that for my volcano.
I do love that you, a grown man, heard plumbing project and you thought, like a diorama or something?
Is he studying plumbing or something? And they have to write an essay about their favourite pipe. And he's going to write about this pipe he found.
You think it's not weird to find a pipe on the street and say,
no,
I could use this?
That bit's a bit weird, but I think we understood the context was that he had some home improvements to do.
Yeah, but that's what plenty of people do. They find shit on the side of the road and go, I could use that for
especially
something.
Back in the 50s.
Back in the 50s.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Plumbing.
I don't think they had a Bunnings
warehouse. We live in a disposable world these days, but back then things were built to last.
Yeah.
The year of the Melbourne Olympics.
Wow.
The year of TV coming to Australia. Mm-hmm. The year my mum was born.
And my dad. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, a December 2nd bombing at the Paramount Theatre in Brooklyn left 6 of the theatre's 1,500 occupants injured, 1 seriously, and drew tremendous news coverage and editorial attention.
Now he's or Florence Pugh is happy.
The next day, Police Commissioner Stephen P. Kennedy ordered what he called the greatest manhunt in the history of the police department.
Wow.
So finally, we're taking this seriously.
How many years has he been bombing for?
10 years.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether it's your first ever website or your business is expanding, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website and engage with your audience.
Sell exclusive content on your site by adding a paywall to sell memberships or courses, or sell files your customers can download like PDFs, musics, or ebooks. And yes, I said musics. That's the plural of music. Also, where I come from.
Also, ebooks.
Okay, well, that's the plural of ebook. Dave, very quickly, what if you had to make an ebook, what would it be about?
From A to E, the best ebook there is.
God, he's good.
He's good. I put him on the spot there. People are going to think that was in a script.
It wasn't. That was improv.
But if I did need it to be scripted, I'd probably consult the good people at Squarespace AI, because you can get help with written content on your website with this fantastic feature, Squarespace AI. Generate instant personalized results that highlight your brand identity. What you do is you explain what your site is about, choose your tone, and enter what you need to get short or long form text. Bada bing, bada boom, Squarespace AI makes it easy to go live, stand out, and succeed online.
Can I just double check what identity means? And I only asked because you gave it to me before.
Yeah. All right, we'll read about it in my new ease book.
Hey, Squarespace also has the tools you need to create and sell your own online course and customize everything with next generation editing technology. Create engaging lessons your audiences will love, then set the price in that order. You can charge a one-time fee or sell subscriptions. Take what you know and turn it into income with Squarespace courses.
Okay, Matt, on the spot, what course are you teaching?
Spaghetti.
Okay.
I'm signing up.
Head to squarespace.com/do-go-on for a free trial and to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/do-go-on. Spaghetti.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Now, we're all on social media, but Jess, you're the real queen amongst us. You've got the official tick these days. You're killing it on there. But let's be honest, social media, it ain't real.
What do you mean? All of my closest friends are on social media and all of them are in Europe.
But they can't all be in Europe. People are just putting their best selves on there. Mm-hmm. But it's hard sometimes when you're at home slubbing it on the couch. Someone's in Athens having the best time. Comparison, you compare yourself. It's the thief of joy. It's easy to envy other people's lives.
It is. You sit there going, what am I doing wrong? What could I be doing to make my life better?
Exactly. They look like they've got it all together, but really they don't. And Athens, it's fine. But the couch is also fine.
Couch is fine.
If you're having a hard time with social media, I think you've got two options. Either one, you throw your phone in the ocean and never think about it ever again. Or possibly you could look into therapy, help you focus on what you want instead of what others have so you can start living your best life.
Yeah, so if you're thinking of starting therapy, why not give BetterHelp a try? It's entirely online. It's designed to be super convenient, very flexible, and you can fit it around your schedule.
Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/DGO and do that today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DGO. It's more than 10 years now, isn't it? Because it started in 1940?
Yeah.
And what year is it now?
56.
56.
Wow.
That's just, that's some of them.
That's quite a bombing career. That sounds like that. That's about as long as Dave's been bombing. 16 years?
Yeah. That's probably about right.
Is that about right, Dave?
That's about right, Dave.
Slightly longer, but yeah.
You've been bombing longer? Okay, I loved this paragraph again from wikipedia.org. Go to that website with caution. You will end up on a government list because it's all about bombs. Throughout the investigation, the prevailing theory was that the bomber was a former Con Edison employee with a grudge against the company. I wonder if they got that from...
Everything.
I used to work there.
Yes,
this is my badge
the very
number.
clear... Anyway, but they're like, I think with my powers of deduction... Con Edison employment records were reviewed, but there were hundreds of other leads, tips, and crank letters to be followed up on. Detectives ranged far and wide, checking lawsuit records, mental hospital admissions, and vocational schools where bomb parts might be made. Citizens turned in neighbours who behaved oddly and co-workers who seemed to know a little too much about bombs. A new group, the Bomb Investigation Unit, was formed to work on nothing but bomber leads.
I reckon those are the people I'd round up. They know a little too much about bombs. Yeah. Arrest them all.
Yep. Get them all. But yeah, so because a part of me early on is like, this is quite clearly somebody who used to work there and has a grudge against them. How hard can it be to narrow it down? But apparently quite hard.
Big corporation, obviously.
Yes, yeah. And
the corporation like, well, honestly, we've fucked over thousands of people.
Well,
here.
It's kind of like a parent company. So they're a subsidiary, they're a small company. So it could be quite far-ranging.
Are they working off the FP thing? Thinking, like, it'd be wild if they're his actual initials.
Right.
Or Florence Pugh's.
Well, yeah, if it's Florence. Are you saying it would be crazy if that's actually Florence Pugh's initials?
No.
Because I reckon it probably is.
If the guy's using his actual initials.
Yeah, that would be
if it's
bold,
not like,
wouldn't it?
I'm guessing it stands for like flattened power because he got flattened by their power or something.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some sort of poetic thing.
He got flattened by power.
Yeah, it'll be something that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it'll be something like that, I assume.
Okay, what do you think
But if his name
stand
is
for?
like Fred Peterson, I'd be like, man, I guess you wanted to be caught. He just wanted this story out there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, people are turning in their neighbours, co-workers who are like, I've heard of bombs before. They're like, oh, you're nicked.
Bomb guy. This
You're
guy
a
worked with
bomb
bombs
guy.
in the army. Bomb guy.
Bomb guy. A writer named Michael Cannell wrote a book about the Mad Bomber, and an excerpt was published in the Smithsonian magazine. I quote him a little bit.
And is it Michael
next
Cannell
section.
or Michael Canell?
Well, it's Cannell.
Canell.
Canel, yeah.
It's probably Cannell.
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 Oh no, it's hard when it happens out of context. But on Who Knew It the other week, when Charlie Clausen was on, I was reading his credits, including him being on Canel Road, and I said Canel Road in my head, going, "Don't say Canel, don't say," because no one here is in on it.
Yeah.
But I did it.
And what did they say?
They made fun of me.
Okay.
It was Ben Russell and Charlie Clausen, and they
Okay.
were like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh,
yeah, trying to explain. It's a thing from the other podcast. Anyway, so
Sorry.
Michael Cannell. Sorry, Michael. You're a great writer, and I'm sorry to disrespect you. Shortly after lunch on a cold December morning in 1956, a trio of New York City's detectives stepped out the back door of the copper-domed police headquarters. Led by a veteran captain, Howard Finney, they walked briskly to an unmarked police cruiser, a big green and white Plymouth idling at the curb, and drove south through the winding downtown streets on an urgent errand. How good is this? Beautiful, poetic.
I'm picturing it.
Classic
nice.
Canell.
That's how good it is from Canel. I can see it.
Yeah.
Normally, I can't see stuff that's been written.
Yeah,
But
that's
this
true.
I can.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Just seeing them all sort of motionless getting in the car, like choreographed almost, and just sitting there, in the car driving.
Maybe
Yeah.
putting that
I'm
little
seeing that.
putting that little siren out the window on top of the
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Love when they do that.
Yeah.
Why isn't it just permanently there? Anyway.
Gotta go undercover.
On that late fall afternoon, Captain Finney and his two bomb squad sidekicks left headquarters to call on James A. Brussel, a psychiatrist with expertise in the workings of the criminal mind. If physical evidence could not lead the police to FP, maybe emotional insights could. Nobody could recall an instance when the police had consulted a psychiatrist. A physical description of the bomber was unobtainable, Captain Finney reasoned. But maybe Brussel could use the evidence to draw a profile of the bomber's inner self, an emotional portrait, that would illuminate his background and disorder. It was a radical notion for 1956.
Right.
Oh, so this
Hadn't been
changed
done.
the game.
Yes.
Oh, I got a fifth suspect.
Okay.
Frat party.
Oh.
Okay. Where's...
Very pranky.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, maybe they've it's a toga themed party with
Yep.
a kegger gone wrong.
Yeah. And frats are like history makers.
Yeah.
They are game changers.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
know, so
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
So Dr. Brussel, James A. Brussel, he was a criminologist, psychiatrist, and assistant commissioner of the New York State Commission for Mental Hygiene. I don't know what that means, but it sounds fun and old-timey. Mental health, basically. Initially, Brussel was hesitant to assist. He had a huge workload at the Department of Mental Hygiene.
I'm really busy.
I'm very busy. Plus, he had like lectures
you,
and
though.
meetings, private practice. He was already spinning a lot of plates. I also read that because he was doing like all of those different things, and then he would get home and he would create like crossword puzzles for like multiple newspapers.
I'm sorry. I'm puzzling tonight.
But he was already doing so much, and then he would go and spend hours creating these puzzles, so much so that I think they had to publish them under different names because it was like too prolific. So he's insane. He's like incredibly intelligent. So he's kind of like, I don't really have time to take this on. Plus, there's no precedent for it. Like, this isn't something that's ever been done. Not to mention, there's a lot of pressure riding on this case. He hesitated to test his theories in such a high-profile case. What if his analysis failed to break the case, or worse, sent the police in the wrong direction? I don't know what you expect me to do, Brussel observed skeptically. If experts haven't cracked this case in more than 10 years of trying, what could I hope to contribute? But in the end, he couldn't resist having a go. Psychiatrists normally evaluate patients and consider how they might react to difficulties. Conflict with a boss, sexual frustrations, the loss of a parent. Brussel began to wonder whether instead of starting with a known personality and anticipating behaviour, perhaps he could start with the bomber's behaviour and deduce what sort of person he might be. In other words, Brussel would work backwards by letting FP's conduct define his identity, his sexuality, race, appearance, work history, and personality type.
So this is like the first profile.
Yeah. Brussel called his approach reverse psychology. Today we call it criminal profiling.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Because reverse psychology is something different again. But he called it reverse because he's sort of working backwards.
So what he did back then, he goes, we don't want to catch you anyway, FP, put it in the paper. So
don't even care.
Don't even bother owning up to it because we don't even care.
We want
whatever.
you to write more letters.
And tell us, bomb more things.
Bomb more things.
And definitely, we don't even care if you tell us who you are and stop doing it.
And when he handed himself in, he said, I've also created opposite day. You're under arrest.
Gotcha!
You're nicked.
You dickhead. Anyway, this is from Canel again. Whatever the term, it was still a virtually untested concept in the 1950s. Brussels' role models at the time were fictional investigators, most notably C. Auguste Dupin, the reclusive amateur detective invented by Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he solved the Rue, something Rue?
Yeah, the creature in the
Rue
Rue Morgue.
Oh, that's right. It was the original profiler. The forebearer of Sherlock Holmes and Hercule Poirot.
But Dave and I discovered on an episode of Book Cheat.
We covered the Murder in the Rue Morgue.
Yes, if they just looked at the cover of the book, they could have solved the crime.
Yeah.
They had the culprit on the cover of the book that Dave bought.
It's a real spoiler. A real spoiler.
Yeah.
And then they were wearing a little sign around their neck that said, I did it.
Yes.
Wow. I hate when they do that in movie posters. I'm like, well, fucking... Now I know. They're kissing, but then they, in the first third of the film, they're enemies. And I'm like, well, I know how this is going to fucking end, don't I? You're making out in the poster.
Yeah, like one of those World War II ones and Hitler's making out with Eva Braun and you're like,
oh, come on.
Great.
What?
Now I know where it's going.
Great. Another enemies to lovers. So anyway, Brussel, he's on the case. He's like, all right, I'll have a stab. So Captain Finney emptied a satchel of evidence on Brussel's desk. Out spilled photographs of unexploded bombs along with photostats of strangely worded letters and documentary reports amassed over 16 years. The bombs and the letters, these were all the police had, Brussel would write. The rest was a mystery. After 2 hours, Brussel stood up from his desk and turned to look out his window overlooking City Hall. After standing there quietly for quite some time, he eventually turned and began describing the bomber to the detectives. This is what he sort of comes up with. The bomber's belief that he'd been wronged by Consolidated Edison and by others acting in coercion with them seemed to dominate his thoughts, leading Brussel to conclude that the bomber was suffering from paranoia. This is all from Wiki. They kind of summarize all of his thoughts about the bomber. Male, as historically most bombers were male. Well-proportioned and of average build based on studies of hospitalised mental patients. 45 to 50 years old as paranoia develops slowly. Precise, neat and tidy based on his letters and the workmanship of his bombs. An exemplary employee, on time and well-behaved. He thought probably Slavic because bombs were favoured in Middle Europe.
Interesting.
A Catholic because most Slavic people were Catholic. Courteous but not friendly. A lot of the time he's playing the odds.
And he's like taking one and then extrapolating from that.
Totally, yeah. He has a good education but probably not college. Foreign-born or living in a community of foreign-born people. The formal tone and old-fashioned phrasing of the letters sounded to Brussels as if they'd been written or thought out in a foreign language and then translated into English. Based on the rounded letter W's of the handwriting, they thought maybe that represents breasts and the slashing and stuffing of theatre seats. Brussels thought about something about sex was troubling the bomber. possibly an Oedipus complex, loving his mother and hating his father and authority figures.
That's why he slashed theatre chairs?
And that's why he writes W's a bit round, because they look like boobs. Not all of it's good. Anyway.
That's so funny.
He's saying this other guy's a sex maniac.
Right, he sees boobs everywhere.
These W's are so hot.
So sexy.
I just need to be alone with these W's for a minute.
It's the most sexy letter.
It's like that saying, to a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. To a perv, every problem looks like a pair of tits.
And if you put this letter over this letter, a U next to a U, oh my God.
Man, once calculators came in, which was possibly already at this point.
Nah.
He would have been like, oh my God. Have you seen what happens when you write 80085?
Oh, that's a course.
Oh no. It's happening. It's happening.
I hate that we made eye contact when you said that. We maintained eye contact. It felt strange.
Was that okay for you?
Instead of a calculator.
The calculator starts flashing no.
Error.
Anyway, this is a little bit more about the profile. A loner, no friends, little interest in women, possibly a virgin, unmarried, perhaps living with an older female relative, probably lives in Connecticut, as Connecticut... Is this crazy?
Connecticut, full of virgins.
It had a high concentration of Slavic people, and many of the bomber's letters were posted in Westchester County, midway between Connecticut and New York City. It was quite clever.
Okay.
I loved this from Michael Canel. Finney and his men put on their coats and packed the evidence. The two men shook hands. Then the three detectives moved to the door. In the parting moment, Brussel closed his eyes. An image of the bomber came to him with cinematic clarity. He wore outdated clothes since his contempt for others would prevent him from holding steady jobs. His attire was old-fashioned, but clean and meticulous. It would be prim, perhaps with an enveloping protective aspect. "Captain, one more thing. When you catch him," Brussel said, "and I have no doubt you will, he'll be wearing a double-breasted suit." And then Brussel added, "and it will be buttoned."
Oh, my gosh.
Very cinematic. I love it.
Is that, again, at that time, just most Slavic people wore double-breasted
Who
suits
knows?
or something?
I don't know.
Because it feels like he's really honed in on Slavic anything. They live in Connecticut. Are they Catholic?
Yeah.
They wear double-breasted suits.
The Connecticut thing, I guess, made a little bit more sense because of where some of the letters were sent from, and it was sort of between. So I guess, but yes, a lot of it is kind of, and he says this.
But it has to be.
In a lot of his writing, he's like, I'm playing the odds. Like, it's just sort of, and it's all based on studies of people and, so he's kind of like, yeah, maybe it could be one of the 15% of paranoid schizophrenics who have a different body shape or something like it's very interesting, but some of it you're like, okay, he'll be wearing a double-breasted suit and the detail of it'll be buttoned.
Do you think you just wanted to say the word breast out loud?
Double-breasted. Now leave my office. I need a moment.
Too late. It happened again.
I need my calculator. So, although the police policy had been to keep the bomber investigation low-key, Brussel actually convinced them to heavily publicise this profile that they'd come up with, predicting that any wrong assumption made in it would prod the bomber to respond. So if he was wrong, he reckons the bomber would be like, "No, I'm actually very handsome and great with the ladies."
And when people start persecuting the Slavic community, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Under the headline 16-year search for a madman, the New York Times published a version of the profile summarising the major predictions, all the things I just said before. Newspapers published the profile on December 25th, 1956, because everybody's rushing to the paper on 25th of December, alongside the story of the so-called Christmas Eve bomb discovered in the public library. By the end of the month, bomb hoaxes and false confessions had risen to epidemic proportions. At the peak of the hysteria on December 28, police received over 50 false bomb alarms, over 20 the next day. So it's kind of...
Wow.
It's created copycats and people getting a little worked up and sort of...
And if you have an exam on... A perfect opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Signed, Frat party.
The day after the profile was published, the New York Journal American published an open letter prepared in cooperation with the police, urging the bomber to give himself up. The newspaper promised a fair trial and offered to publish his grievances. FP wrote back the next day. So it kind of worked. I love the old days of open letters and communicating back and forth in a really public way. There's about 3 or 4 letters that he sends back that then they respond to and they publish his letter. It's like, guys, can you just... All right. Anyway.
Cut out the middleman.
Just text each other, for fuck's sake.
The public's like, do we need to be
Do I
brought
have to
into
see this? I just want to see the latest football results.
Yeah, we like football.
Okay.
Let's go football.
What's the weather going to be for the week? That sort of thing. That's all I want to know.
FP football player.
Oh, my God.
Football.
Football.
No bad ideas.
Okay. Dave,
I don't know if that's PAUL. I don't know. Football.
Or like football bearer.
Yes.
Someone who pallbears with their feet.
That's hard to do.
That is hard to do. Not impossible, but hard.
You know how you're talking about, Dave, talking about the football shirt? Do you remember that there was a bit of a viral photo of Rob Lowe at the Super Bowl or a big game just wearing an NFL hat?
I don't remember that.
Go league.
Come on. Come on, the league. Come on, the league.
I hope the league wins tonight.
So, yes, they've published an open letter, said, give yourself up. FP wrote back. He said, I'm not going to be giving myself up. He revealed a wish.
Go on.
He revealed a wish to bring the Con Edison to justice.
Oh, God.
He listed all the locations where he'd placed bombs that year and seemed concerned that perhaps not all had been discovered. Later in the letter, he said, my days on Earth are numbered. Most of my adult life has been spent in bed. My one consolation is that I can strike back, even from my grave, for the dastardly acts against me.
Wow. That's giving up a bit of
isn't
info
it?
as well.
Yes.
Very ominous, but giving up a bit of info.
That's right, and they're still not figuring it out. The newspaper published his letter on January 10, along with another open letter to him, asking him for more information as to why he was doing this.
Oh, that's a good one. And tell us where you live.
And once again,
Keep him
he
talking.
responds.
Yeah,
keep him talking. They can track the letter.
We need another 5 letters. Keep them on the line.
What's your favourite colour? Tell us. And he writes in. His second letter provided some details about the materials used in the bombs. He favoured pistol powder, as shotgun powder had very little power, apparently. Promised a bomb truce until at least March 1st, and wrote, I was injured on job at Consolidated Edison plant. As a result, I am adjudged, totally and permanently disabled. Going on to say that he had to pay his own medical bills and that Consolidated Edison had blocked his workers' compensation case. Again,
Jeez,
giving
so
a lot
much,
of info, isn't it?
So much info. And how hard is it for him to travel from Connecticut to all these different locations?
Yeah, and discreetly drop these bombs off and no one notices him, yeah.
Interesting. I know. Have we mentioned Edison? That's obviously a previous topic of the show. I'm assuming it's the same. It's just something from Thomas Edison.
I
started
guess so.
the company because he's the light bulb guy, he was the guy who bought a lot of patents.
Yeah.
Let's find
from
out.
inventions and stuff. I assume it's
I
related
didn't
to him.
actually look up what Consolidated Edison. Powering New York City and Westchester. It's commonly known as Con Edison or Con Ed. It's one of the largest investor-owned energy companies in the United States. So it's an energy company.
Right.
And whether it's founded by Edison or just named after because
him.
it's associated with electricity.
Yeah. Yeah, hard to say.
That's
Or
hard to
they're-
say.
or
It's
they're saying-
almost, I'd say, impossible to say.
Well,
Or they're saying Edison
Oh, no.
is a real con.
Oh.
Con Edison.
Oh, Dave, you watch your tone, young man.
It was actually started by George Westinghouse.
Let's see. History. Con Edison's electric business also dates back to 1882 when Thomas Edison's Edison Illuminating Company of New York began supplying electricity to 59 customers. So maybe that is something to do with them.
Sounds like it.
We'll never know.
Never know.
Never could know.
He also said this. So he said that
Is this Thomas Edison?
Thomas Edison said this. No, he said Con Edison wouldn't pay his medical bills. They blocked his workers' comp. He also says when a motorist injures a dog, he must report it. Not so with an injured workman. He rates less than a dog. I tried to get my story to the press. I tried hundreds of others. I typed tens of thousands of words, about 800,000. That's more than tens of thousands. Nobody cared. I determined to make these dastardly acts known. I've had plenty of time to think. I decided on bombs. So he's just trying to, again, he's bombing for awareness. Again, they published the letter. They published the letter. Again, they appealed to him for further information. He just keeps giving it. The third letter was received by the newspaper on January 19th. This letter complained of lying unnoticed for hours on cold concrete after his injury without any first aid being rendered, then developing pneumonia and later tuberculosis. The letter added details about his loss compensation case and the perjury of his co-workers and gave the date of his injury.
They're like, this could still be a million different people. We are very poor at looking after our workers.
Hundreds are injured every day.
He gave the date, September 5th, 1931.
I'm like, we don't have records of shit like that. We don't give a shit like that. You're a number.
How could we possibly figure it out?
Yeah, you'd like him to go like straight off the bat. It's like, our worker who feels bad about how we treated him, that's got to be John Jensen.
Yeah, it's got to be John Jensen. We treated him pretty badly.
He was the one we treated badly.
And then we learned from that.
We learned from it. We felt awful. And he wouldn't accept our apologies.
Yeah.
And fair enough, we were awful.
We agree with him.
We've learned a lot.
We have been so much better ever since. Yeah, that was not the case. So I know we said earlier there was just so many files to go through, but surely that's enough info to narrow it down a fair bit. But they still haven't quite got there. Meanwhile, a woman named Alice Kelly, a clerk who worked for Con Edison, had been scouring the company's workers' compensation files for several days. She was looking for workers with serious health problems. On Friday, January 18, 1957, while searching the final batch of troublesome workers' compensation files.
Were they?
These are the troublesome ones, those where threats were made or implied.
Oh, they were filed under troublesome.
Yes. She found a file marked in red with the words injustice and permanent disability, words that had been printed in the Journal American. The file belonged to a man named George Metesky, an employee from 1921 to 1931, who'd been injured in September of 1931.
But initials are GM.
So it's not him.
Not him.
Keep moving.
This guy's a general manager.
Shred that file. Let's move on.
Yeah, next.
Yeah, destroy all evidence of this man. We never need to speak to him.
Metesky, born in 1903, had joined the US Marines after World War I, serving as a specialist electrician at the United States Consulate in Shanghai. Returning home, he went to work as a mechanic for a subsidiary of the Consolidated Edison Utility Company, and he lived in Waterbury, Connecticut, with his two older
Slavic.
unmarried sisters.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
That's wild. This is somewhat of a guess, but it is wild. It was an educated guess.
Yeah.
Amazing.
In 1931, Metesky was working as a generator wiper at the company's Hellgate generating plant when a boiler backfire produced a blast of hot gases.
Oof.
The blast knocked Metesky down and the fumes filled his lungs, choking him.
Oh, God.
The accident left him disabled, and after collecting 26 weeks of sick pay, he lost his job. According to claims disputed by Con Edison, the accident led to pneumonia that in turn developed into tuberculosis. A claim for workers' compensation was denied because he waited too long to file it.
Yeah, mate, you got to get straight onto these things, okay?
We don't care you're in a coma for 9 months.
Okay, mate.
Your time's up.
It's always interesting to look back, right? And
Yeah.
you go, this is the era where a lot of people talk about when Australia was great, when America was great, and that sort of stuff. There were issues as well.
Yeah.
The workers' rights have improved, I
It
think.
wasn't perfect.
No. Back to the 50s, back when old people were young. Yeah. Dave, are you closer to cracking the FP conundrum here?
FP. Thanks, poor nothing.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. Yeah. Fired person.
I'm a fired I consider myself a fired person.
I'm a fired person.
You say that I was let go because of the injury, but I feel like I was fired. I'm a fired person.
26 weeks. And then, well, we gave you a chance to recover and you didn't. So we're going to have to let you go.
See you later.
Just the fact that, it was just because you didn't get the forms in at the time. It's like, well, anyway. 3 appeals of the denial were also rejected. The last was in 1936. He developed a hatred for the company's attorneys and for 3 co-workers whose testimony in his compensation case he believed were like, they were sort of lying in favour of the company.
Ugh, company man.
Several letters from Metesky in the file used wording similar to the letters in the Journal American, including the phrase dastardly deeds.
Yeah, he was keen on that.
He loved dastardly deeds.
Loved a bit of alliteration.
Yeah. So Alice Kelly...
Double D.
Double D.
That would absolutely get that guy off.
Loves a couple of double
Dastardly
Ds.
deeds. If you take away the rest of the letters, oh my God. So I'm going to need a minute here.
There's like 4 Ds in there.
Oh, 4D!
4Ds.
Oh, that's bigger than I can even imagine.
Honestly, at that point, it's no longer a D. It's like an F or G, probably, realistically. Gross.
It's happening.
Made me feel gross.
He sits her a horn bag.
So Alice Kelly, she reported this finding to the police. Now, we know the police have done a really good job here.
Yeah.
It's only taken about 2 decades to take any notice of this guy.
They initially treated the notification as just one of a number of leads they were working on, but they did ask the Waterbury police to do a discreet check on George Metesky.
I'm picturing these cops not getting up off their chairs for like 16 years.
Yeah.
Just sort of rocking back, going, yeah, something to think about. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, good note. Good
We'll
note. Let me
ponder that
mull
one.
on it.
We'll file that away under troublesome lead.
So shortly before midnight, on the 21st of January 1957, detectives armed with a warrant entered the home of George Metesky, a 3-story house near the top of a short, steep hill in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Was that a prediction? 3-story house?
No.
Tall hill? Okay, it wasn't that specific. Okay.
They could see for themselves that Metesky matched the criteria Brussels had itemised. Metesky met them at the doorstep wearing round gold-rimmed eyeglasses and burgundy pyjamas buttoned to the neck.
Or they were like, this guy's a virgin. Tick.
He's wearing a bathrobe too, though. All right, mate.
They said this is where he's meant to be wearing the breasted suit. He's buttoned up though. He got the buttons
he's
right.
buttoned up.
Or badly dressed.
It's nearly midnight.
Yeah.
He's asleep.
Yeah, what are the odds?
He was a thick-set, middle-aged man. He'd never married, never had a girlfriend. Neighbours described him as fastidious with a reputation for petty disputes. In his garage workshop, they found a lathe, and back in the house, they found pipes and connectors suitable for bombs hidden in the pantry,
I'm doing a little bit of plumbing project.
as well as 3 cheap pocket watches, flashlight batteries, brass terminal knobs, and unmatched wool socks. Same type that had been used to transport the bombs.
Unmatched? You mean you're not using a pair? You're sacrificing one sock and then keeping the mate?
He's a fastidious person.
What are you talking
but
about?
he's always in mismatched socks. It's crazy.
If there's 30 bombs, you only need 15 pairs of socks. You don't need 30 pairs of socks and then take one from each.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Mate, come on!
That's really rattled him. That's upset him.
What I'm stuck on is thick set. Oh man, I want to be described as thick set. Can you describe?
Sure, yeah, I can describe you that way.
Please.
This is my friend Matt. He is thick set.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
That means a lot.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Thick set. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but I love it.
Yeah, wow, it suits you.
I'm picturing like Jalna pot set yogurt.
I think you're really
Is it like that?
You're getting stuck on the set, aren't you?
Maybe, but I also love the word thick.
Thick set. It's good fun.
Thick set.
I would describe my dog as thick set.
I've got a thick set of steak knives.
Sturdy.
Yes, solid.
Solid. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Nuggety. I love nuggety. My favourite footballers are usually nuggety.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're just too lean to be nuggety. I'm sorry.
There's still time.
You're too tall and lean. I'm so
actually are
sorry.
quite tall.
You can't be nuggety. You've
No.
got to be a bit of a short king.
Oh.
Sorry, mate. Do you want to? You could cut bits of your legs off, get a bit shorter.
That's a good idea.
Cut off my legs and call me shorty. That's a classic phrase from Australian TV.
Okay.
We'll take your word for it.
We're up to the most
The
exciting bit.
non-pedophile from Hey Dad used to say it. All right.
What a phrase. Oh my. Please do go on. I'm so interested to know what's going to happen here.
In Metesky's creepily neat room,
Creepily neat.
detectives found a notebook filled with handwriting similar to FP's block lettering. They handed him a pen and paper and asked him for a handwriting sample and to make the letter G. He made the G, looked up and said, "I know why you fellas are here. You think I'm the mad bomber."
And then now do a W. Yeah, do a really big W.
I know it's weird and you don't normally do it, but put full stops at the bottom of the W's right there. Oh, yeah. That's it.
Yes.
I know why you're here. You think I'm the bomber? And do they say yes?
They say, yeah. Well, they make him do the handwriting sample. They watch. It matches. A detective said, Why don't you go ahead and get dressed, George? Here was the moment of truth.
Oh my gosh, what's he going to pull out of the suit jacket
You remember?
cupboard?
You remember what Brussels said?
Yes.
Blue, dark blue,
I don't think he said colour.
pinstriped, double-breasted suit buttoned up to the top.
Sure enough, Metesky stepped from his bedroom wearing sensible brown rubber-soled shoes, a red dotted necktie, brown cardigan sweater, and a double-breasted blue suit.
No way.
Buttoned up.
Did he say blue or did I say blue? Because
You said blue, but I don't think
I
Brussels
thought it was
picked
blue.
colour. Or maybe you did.
I was
No, I
just
just said
picturing blue.
double-breasted.
wow, am
I can't
I a
remember. Maybe I'll
genius?
go find out.
And that's when they said, "You're next." That is scary.
Yeah, I imagine it would have scared even himself.
Brussels just said he'll be wearing a double-breasted suit and it will be buttoned. The buttoned was the important detail, not the colour. But you got the colour.
That is
Crazy.
fascinating,
Isn't it?
And what did he think he was? Like he'd told him who he was. Basically,
Yeah, I don't think he was.
I know why you think I am because I told you I am.
Yeah.
And it took me ages. I had to really spoon feed it to
Yeah,
you.
fucking hell. You guys are not good at your jobs.
Come on, guys.
When asked
That's wild.
When asked what FP stood for,
Give me the first word. I'll get the second.
fair
Party.
Play.
Pew.
play.
Fair play. Oh,
Fair
fair
play.
play.
Fair play, Governor. That's all he wanted was a bit of fair play.
Fair play.
Fair play.
After Metesky's arrest, early police statements credited the finding of his file to an NYPD detective. Later, a report developed in a reward investigation conceded that Alice Kelly had found the file and explained. Basically, they had misunderstood the file being picked up by the detective. Like, they'd gone to the office to pick it up, not that they'd found it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So eventually she did get credit for it. So they eventually credited her with turning up the clue that led to Metesky's arrest because there was a reward for it at this point. She declined to claim the $26,000 reward,
Whoa.
saying she had merely been doing her job.
Okay. Well, yeah, true, but
Take the fucking money,
Take the
you
money.
Do you
idiot.
think she also refuses a monthly salary?
No, I was
I'm
just doing my job.
job.
And then I read Con Edison's board of directors also declined to file for the reward. Fair enough.
yes.
But then a group of shareholders
No.
did file
What?
as a representative of Kelly and the company. I don't know if they got it, but they were like, well, we'll take some of that reward money then.
Right.
But she should have got that fucking money. I don't care that you're
I
doing your
imagine
job.
that would have been like a decade's pay. Probably.
That's so much money. That's a lot of money now. This is in 1957 or something.
Yeah.
That's
incredible.
insane. Take the money, you idiot. Just doing my job. No, you weren't, because you're a clerk and you were looking through some files. That's good. But you also identified a serial bomber.
Someone that was never going to be identified.
Because the police were so fucking useless.
They hadn't got out of their chair yet.
Take that money, you noble idiot. I'm so mad about that.
I'm picturing Betty from Hey Dad, one of the other non-pedophile
Yes.
actors.
Betty was nice.
Betty was great. And they cut off my legs and call me Shorty was her boyfriend.
I
can't remember his name,
I remember
though.
him.
He was just a tall lanky guy
Yeah, okay.
from the country.
I like that. All right, so
It's like Seinfeld says, PC culture's gone mad. That's why we don't get sitcoms on TV anymore.
yeah.
Because all the pedophiles have been put away, of which he sort of is one, allegedly. But anyway, because he dated a 16-year-old.
But he was like 36. Anyway.
No, he was 39. But
Okay.
anyway, I don't know. AJ, maybe edit that out. I don't know.
Yeah, see what you feel, AJ.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we said allegedly. You're covered. If my journalism degree is anything to go by, just whip out an allegedly every now and then. You are good to go. Or say, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then it's a review. Can't get mad at us for a review.
And if Seinfeld hears this
Dave
and has a
hates
problem,
this.
I would say, come on, mate. Bit sensitive. PC gone mad.
Yeah. Oh, you can't say anything these days, can you, Jerry? Am I right? He looks pretty good for 70, I will say that.
That was fantastic.
Unfrosted was terrible. Okay.
It was, yeah. I had fun with it, but.
Did
yeah.
you?
It was fun.
Really, when you think about it, did you?
I heard it was so bad, so watching it, I'm like, this is just silly fun. It was
Yeah,
a silly
okay.
film. Very silly.
It didn't need to be a film.
It was beautiful colours.
Yeah, it was colourful. That's
And
true. It was
I loved
bright and
it.
colourful.
It was it was, a bit of fun.
Okay.
But yeah, it was probably bad, but sort of bad fun.
Bad fun. I do like
Bit of
stuff
fun.
that's so bad it's good. So we found the bomber. We've done it. You and I. We've done
Wow. FP. Fair play.
Fair play, governor.
it. From Wikipedia
That's such an
again.
English-sounding phrase.
It is. I don't really
fair
know
Fair play, do you?
if he explained in much detail why that was it, but anyway. So from Wiki again, Metesky told the arresting officers that he had been gassed in the Con Edison accident, had contracted tuberculosis as a result, and started planting bombs because he got a bum deal. Going over a police list of 32 bomb locations, but never using the word bomb, he remembered the exact date where each unit had been placed, he called them units, and its size. So the police had a list of these 32 bombs, and then he takes the police list, he starts adding size, date, location.
Filling out a spreadsheet.
Of 15 early bombs the police hadn't known about, all left at Con Edison. They weren't mentioned in the newspaper, so he started planting bombs in public places to gain publicity for what he termed the injustices done to him.
So there's like someone, unfortunately, has brought them all home, and their home plumbing is littered with bombs.
But
sealed behind a wall.
Working like an absolute dream.
Oh, it's working fantastic.
Yeah.
My shower pressure's never been better.
Yeah. My toilet pressure's incredible. It's like a vacuum. It's like an airplane toilet in my house.
Whoosh.
I hate those toilets. Ever since I was a kid, I've been so scared of airplane toilets. They're too loud.
I'll tell you what, the absolute privilege of being scared of an aeroplane toilet as a child. Getting on an aeroplane as a child. Fucking hell.
They weren't invented when you were young.
Okay, that's not fair. You can't hold that against us.
Flushes hadn't been invented.
Yeah.
Certainly not on there. My mates, the Marx Brothers, or whoever those plane guys were,
yeah, the Marx Brothers.
I went out on theirs, but we just shat out the side. Well, I didn't. I'm a gentleman, but they did. No gentleman, those two.
Wow.
Wilbur and the other one.
Marx.
Mark.
Yeah.
Marx.
God, people are
Marx.
going to tweet about that. Oh, it's not the Marx Brothers.
It is, though. It is. We looked it up.
He also confirmed the reason no bombs were planted during the US involvement in World War II. Because you know how they were like, maybe he was
was
involved? He? No, he was just a former Marine and he had abstained for patriotic reasons. While there was a war going on, I'll leave you to it. You got enough on your plate. Not really sure.
That's kind of wild, yeah.
So,
happy to blow up innocent people that have never met me before otherwise, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think deep down he knew that these weren't blowing up anyone, right? No one ever died from any of
No.
Hardly any injuries even.
Probably
no one was injured as bad as he was.
Yeah, that's true. So over the previous 16 years, Metesky had placed 32 bombs with 0 fatalities, but 15 people had been injured.
Are they just large whoopee cushions?
Yeah, they're not huge, big, like building destroying bombs.
Yeah. Are you ever more startled than when you've been whoopied?
You go, hang on.
Hang on.
It's not me. It's not me.
Goodness.
I didn't make that noise.
Oh my God, you know what I saw? I saw a video the other day of like a kid getting the dog to sit and another kid slides a whoopee cushion underneath it, so the dog sits on a whoopee cushion and the dog looks around like, what's that? And it's so cute. The kids are pissing themselves. The dog's like, what's that? Is that me?
That's really fun.
Oh, it's good stuff. Do I have a whoopee cushion? Could I do that to my dog? That'd be really fun. Okay, so after a grand jury heard testimony from 35 witnesses, including police experts and some of those who were injured, he was indicted on 47 charges: attempted murder, damaging a building by explosion, maliciously endangering life, and violation of New York State's Sullivan law by carrying concealed weapons, the bombs. You put them in the sock, that's carrying a concealed weapon. 7 counts of attempted murder were charged based on the 7 persons injured in the preceding 5 years. The statute of limitations had sort of expired on the others.
Can I just double check? Does that mean if he held the bomb out in the open, it wouldn't have been
Not concealed?
So that's an extra law you're breaking by concealing it.
I guess so, yeah.
Sullivan. That's a Sullivan law. Interesting.
After hearing from psychiatric experts, Judge Samuel Leibowitz declared Metesky a paranoid schizophrenic, said he was hopeless and incurable both mentally and physically.
That is a brutal review.
Yep. And found him legally insane and incompetent to stand trial. So in April of 57, Judge Leibowitz committed Metesky to the, I forgot to look up how to say this, Matawan Hospital for the Criminally Insane at Beacon, New York. His health at the time was quite bad. Doctors actually predicted he may only have a few weeks to live.
Oh, wow.
I mean, in his letters, he'd been kind of alluding to that for a while.
Yeah, he'd been saying, I've spent a lot of my adult life in bed. I'm very sick. I don't have a lot of time. After a year and a half of treatment, his health had improved, and a newspaper article written 14 years later described the then 68-year-old Metesky as vigorous and healthy looking.
Ooh,
wow. So he just needed to go to hospital.
He got treatment. He was unresponsive to psychiatric therapy, but was a model inmate and caused no trouble. He was visited regularly by his sisters, and on one occasion, Dr. Brussel.
Oh.
This is from Michael Canel again.
Show us that capital B
calculator.
again.
Just draw it for me.
Sure. Could you draw me a couple of big D's? Yeah, that's it. Fantastic.
It started funny and now it just makes me feel weird.
Okay, I guess we should stop there.
I was enjoying myself, but all right.
So, Michael Canel. So
I'm
sorry.
still enjoying that.
Hello, I'm Michael Canel.
Hello, I'm Michael Canel. The Metesky case, more than any other, had established...
You're only meant to draw the double D's off. It's almost something.
None of my bombs have ever blown the bloody doors off.
He writes, the Metesky case, more than any other, had established Brussel as a folk hero of criminology. At times, I was almost sorry I had been so successful in describing George Metesky, for I had to live up to that success, he later wrote.
Oh, that's actually a really tough act to follow, isn't it?
It wasn't always easy, and sometimes it was impossible. There were times I made mistakes. There were times that I simply lacked enough information to build an image of the criminal. There were times when the law of averages let me down. I'd diagnose a man as a paranoiac and imagine him as having a well-proportioned physique, and then he turned out to be among the 15% of paranoiacs who were not so built. Yes, there were cases on which I failed, but I continued to succeed often enough so that the police kept coming to me.
Do you think you start to believe your own hype after that? Because he closed his eyes and imagined exactly that. You're like, I think I'm psychic.
The double-breasted suit buttoned up is wild.
Yeah. I mean, he got a lot of it right, and we were laughing initially, but...
Yeah, because it seems so out there.
Totally. It's been Connecticut, probably a virgin, lives with his old relatives, female, and we're like,
come on, mate.
Oh, fuck, he was right about it. He wasn't Slavic. He had a Lithuanian background, which is bordered by Slavic countries.
Right, okay.
So, not bad.
And to that he said, what's the difference?
Yeah.
He's a bit racist.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the 1950s.
If somebody was like, New Zealand, Australia, potato, potato, I'd say, how fucking dare you?
We are nowhere near as good as those beautiful Kiwis.
We will never be as good as those beautiful Kiwis. Have you seen it?
You take that back.
That country is beautiful. The people are lovely. Their accent is delightful.
North Island, the best scenery in the world. South Island, the North Island can fuck off.
That's what we say. So how dare you? Anyway, so... even as he consulted with police around the country, Brussel, who would be active in the field until his death at age 77 in 1982, continued to work for the Department of Mental Hygiene. In that capacity, he occasionally visited the hospital where our man Metesky was. So he did visit him one time. He said he was calm, smiling, and condescending, Brussel wrote. Metesky told Brussel of his plans to be discharged and deprecated his bomb-making skills. So it's sort of like you're saying, the bombs were never powerful enough to hurt anybody. You know, I knew that. That was on purpose. Who knows if it was, but that's sort of how he spoke to Brussel.
And Brussel said, you'll be discharged. You draw me another couple of days, I'll discharge in my pants. Okay, that's the last one.
I don't think that's true, though, is it?
Wow, we'll see. I think it's... If you're really uncomfortable, are you doing joke uncomfortability?
I'm always doing joke uncomfortability. You fucking idiot.
I reckon the early idea for the Patreon game, we've got to give them FP things.
Oh, love it. Great.
I was going to say, we draw them each a sexy letter.
Let's go with FP things, yeah.
Oh, P, not a bad one.
That's pretty sexy. Oh, okay, I'm nearly done. In 1973, the United States Supreme Court ruled that a mentally ill defendant cannot be committed to a hospital operated by the New York State Department of Correctional Services unless a jury finds him dangerous. Since Metesky had been committed to the hospital without a jury trial, he was transferred to the Creedmoor Psychiatric Center, a state hospital outside of the correctional system. So he's kind of taken out of prison and into more of just a hospital setting. Doctors just determined that he was harmless, and because he'd already served 2/3 of the 25-year maximum sentence that he would have received at trial, Metesky was released in December of 1973. The single condition was that he made regular visits to a Connecticut Department of Mental Hygiene clinic near his home. From Wiki. Interviewed by a reporter upon his release, he said that he had forsworn violence, but reaffirmed his anger and resentment towards Consolidated Edison.
Oh no, he started again.
He also stated that before he began planting his bombs, this is a quote from him, "I wrote 900 letters to the mayor, to the police commissioner, to the newspapers, and I never even got a penny postcard back."
I reckon that once you send the first letter, you got to wait a bit, because if you send another 800, they start to think,
they're definitely ignoring you. They're blocking you.
This is scary.
Yeah, it's like you have a missed call, maybe you call it back. But when you have 70... well, if you know the number, you're like, oh, I bet there's something going on.
Urgent.
But if it's an unknown number, you're like, okay, I got a stalker.
Yeah, you get scared.
Yeah.
I don't get scared them
I'm blocking that number.
900 letters is too many.
Too many.
I'm sorry.
Then he says, then I went to the newspapers to try and buy advertising space, but all of them turned me down. I was compelled to bring my story to the public. So it's just about attention. He's like, well, maybe if the mayor had responded, or the police, or the newspapers, then maybe I wouldn't have had to go on a bombing spree.
You made me do this. Hey, you happy with this, Mr. Mayor?
You happy? You could have done something about this. Metesky was 54 when he was committed to the hospital and thought to only have weeks to live. But on his release, he returned to his home in Waterbury, where he died 20 years later in 1994 at the age of 90.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
54, they're like, oh, he's not doing well.
He had a whole nother lifetime.
Totally.
And how were the sisters? Oh, great. Welcome home. Cool.
Probably checking his bags every time he comes home, just making sure there's only bananas and not bombs.
No pipes.
Yeah. As for Dr. Brussel, Canel sums it up. By the 1970s, Brussel was known as a founding father of the emerging field of profiling. The press variously called him the prophet of 12th Street, Sherlock Holmes of the couch, and
that takes a real dip at the end, doesn't it?
Oh, that's a really good
Sherlock Holmes of the couch.
And the couch, like the psychiatric couch?
Yeah. And the psychiatric seer. I think Sherlock Holmes of the couch is the best one.
Yeah, but that does make, just without knowing much about it, you're assuming it's just like an armchair expert.
Yeah.
You know, he's flicking on the TV.
Yeah.
Going, yeah, I'll solve this one. I'll call the cops. Yeah. Cops, I know who did it.
Oh, I got another bloody Sherlock Holmes on the couch here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, has anybody watched Psych?
I just started watching it.
That's basically how Psych starts.
Yes,
he's on the couch watching.
That is true.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes, that's right, because he's like interrupts his makeout sesh.
Yeah, rude.
Because he can't help himself but solve crimes.
See, he feels about crimes the way this guy feels about double D's.
Yeah, it gets him off.
Anyway, this is Canel again.
Is it good, Psych?
It's
sort of like, it's like House and all those sort of shows.
It's quite silly.
But it's silly fun.
It's very silly fun.
And every episode, it's a new little mystery that they solve.
I don't think it's as bingeable because it started to just follow the same formula all the time.
Yeah.
But bits and pieces is fun. As much as anyone, it was Brussel who united the fields of psychiatry and policing. Those of us who were interested in combining criminology and medicine keenly followed his work, says Park Dietz, a forensic psychiatrist who has consulted on cases including the Unabomber. Although Brussel may at times have seemed more promoter than scientist, there is no denying his accomplishments. He made predictions with striking precision, says psychologist Kathy Charles of Scotland's Edinburgh Napier University. He kickstarted the police thinking that psychiatry could be an effective tool for catching offenders. And so the Mad Bomber of New York is sort of seen as the first case that kind of kicked off criminal profiling as well. So it's kind of like two stories in one.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Wow.
And so that is the story of the Mad Bomber of New York.
Wow, I've never heard of him.
I know.
Or Dr. Brussel.
Thank you to Tim Randall and Truman for suggesting that topic. Saw it in the hat and thought, that sounds like a bit of blue fun.
Mad Bomber.
And certainly appealing because nobody died. That's always comforting, isn't it?
And very surprising considering how many bombs.
So many
went
bombs,
off.
like 32 bombs, 15 people injured. I'm sure some of them were, reasonably injured, quite severely, but nobody died. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's hard to know I'm not really rooting for him, but in a way, I guess kind of sometimes am. I don't know. But it's an interesting story.
Yeah, you just kind of wish that his old employer looked after him a bit.
Yeah, you're asking a bit too much there.
But also, I don't think people should just set off bombs if they've been poorly treated. I think they should write letters to their mayor. First off, if you've done that,
there's first steps.
And if you've gone to the newspapers, which I think is what he should have done. Did he think about that?
Taking out an ad? Have you thought about that?
If he took out an ad or something like that and none of that came off, then I think it's fair enough to bomb.
Yeah.
But I don't think he went through any of those steps, did he?
Not that I heard of.
I don't think so, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Not that I'm aware of.
So, that would be my note to him. Okay. 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 Well, hey,
lost our minds?
Oh, hang on. Is it time for everyone's favourite section of the show?
Holy shit.
Where we go through and thank some of our...
Can you just shut up for a second while I check my watch to see if it's time for everyone's favourite time of the show? Fucking hell, it is.
Oh, my God.
Dave's looking at his wrist. He's got no watch on.
Thought maybe I got one.
Is that a hint? Do you want one?
Yes, please.
Okay. Wait, if his watch isn't there, where is it? And he's only wearing one sock. So this part of the show, which a lot of people will just be skipping to now. You should go back because it was a really good story this time.
Yeah.
One of the few we've done. And but this next
put
part
on the list
is what everyone listens for. It's where we thank some of our best supporters. And these people are involved via signing up at patreon.com/2goonpod. There's a bunch of different levels. There's even a free level now, which I don't know. It keeps you in the loop to some degree, I think. But yeah, there's different levels above that, and you start getting rewards there. And what are some of those, Dave?
Bonus episodes is a big one.
Yes.
We've got over 200 right now in the back catalogue that you unlock instantly at that level.
Is there anything we can announce about bonus episodes?
At the moment, we're doing 3 bonus episodes a month.
Yeah.
And soon, in the coming weeks, if not this very month, we will be releasing a 4th bonus monthly episode. So basically, a bonus episode every week, nearly every week.
Yeah.
And the 4th one, are we allowed to say what it is?
Yeah, I think, it'll be out this month. So we're in July now. It's out this month, I believe.
Very exciting. A few years ago, maybe 4 years ago, we did a mini campaign that is still available on Patreon, and you can listen to that on the bonus episode or above level. If you want to listen to our Do Go D&D, our Dungeons and Dragons campaign that we did with Adam Carnevale from Sans Pants Radio. And we brought the Dungeon Master himself back into the studio, and we are putting out a monthly campaign.
Can't believe it.
It was so fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
It's so, like, Dave's already said he was dreaming about the world that night. I've been binging a few shows, and I was getting through some work going, can't wait to get home to see what's happening with, and then I realized that I was talking about the Dungeons and Dragons story we did. I'm like, oh no. I'm going to have to wait month to month for that one.
It was a bit ridiculous and chaotic. It was really fun.
It was so fun, yeah. So we've got, one
Adam's
episode coming out.
He's
so good
at creating those stories, and he does the voices and stuff. I tried for a little while to do the voice.
Yeah,
It was very funny.
We're not as good as him.
No.
But he's very patient with us, which
He's
is
so
nice.
nice.
So much fun. So we will be releasing 1 episode a month of that campaign, as well as all the other bonus episodes that are already there. So if you love that kind of thing.
If you don't know, every month there's a bonus report, like just basically a report like today's episode, the bit that you've just skipped over.
For example, last month I did one on the time David Blaine, the famous magician, locked himself in a plastic box above the Thames in London for 44 days, and England, Britain at large, and the media lost their minds at him.
Yeah, they really hated him.
Then the second one we do is sort of a free choice for one of us. In the past, it was me working out the Who Knew It with Matt Stewart game. Dave's had games like Fact Finder.
Yeah.
Just had games like This Year or Last Year.
Yep. And also, Am I a Dead Woman?
Oh, Am I a Dead Woman's there, which is our version of Celebrity Heads. Without context, that must sound a bit off, but
I think it's fine.
Dave, last month you did another one of your series of Do Go on This Day.
That's right. Look at the date the episode comes out, and I find some events in history that have happened on that day. So it's like 5 mini reports in one.
That's right. And then that was like an hour and a half episode. And then the next one we do is Phrasing the Bar, which will soon be some sort of an episode. We haven't figured out what it'll be yet, but possibly another movie type series.
We have watched and reviewed every single Brendan Fraser movie at this point.
Amazing.
All of them.
Yeah. And the hit rate according to the scores I give, is very good. And then, the new one, 4th episode each month, the D&D campaign. D&D Go On, or no, whatever it's called. Anyway, so that's one of the things you get, bonus episodes. You also get to vote on topics. You're the first to hear about live episodes, and you get discounted tickets. The upcoming Who Knew It with Matt Stewart 100th episode includes a discount of like 33%. Tickets go from $30 to $20 if you're a Patreon.
You're printing money.
Whoa.
And burning it.
Yeah.
Or something, I don't know.
Something like that.
But I mean, if you wanted to come to it anyway, $10 for a month on Patreon, bonus episode, whatever. Anyway, so there's heaps of different things you can get. But one of the levels, Sydney Scheinberg level, or above, you get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or really whatever you like. And I'll read out about 4 of those each week. And yeah, so I'm going to do that now. Actually, I think does this section have a jingle? Go something like this?
Fact, quote, or question.
Yeah, it turns out it does have a jingle. It goes exactly like that. And he always remembers the ding, and she always remembers the jingle. And this part, like I say, fact, quote, or question, brag, or suggestion, or whatever, I'll read out 4 of them. They also get to give us a title, or give themselves a title, I should say. What episode is it this week? Is it 455?
455, can you believe it?
I can't, and I won't.
Believe it.
I won't, I said. Do you listen?
Believe it or not.
Thank you, I choose not.
So the first one this week comes from Broderick Henry, a.k.a. managing part-timer of Snacks.
You fucking nailed that. Let me tell you that. Managing.
Oh, managing.
That was perfect, Matt. Proud of you.
No, that's just how Broderick asked me to pronounce it.
Fair enough.
How do you feel about that? I guess he's probably working in your department. He'd be working under you, wouldn't he?
Under Snacks.
In Snacks. You're head of Snacks, aren't you?
I am head of Snacks.
Yeah. So good to have Broderick in the team.
I'm head of Snacks on tour, and we haven't toured for a while. And even then, I was just really getting snacks for myself.
Hopefully, by the time this episode comes out, we have tour news.
An announcement.
Hopefully.
And as always, the people on Patreon here first.
That's
Another
true.
reason to sign up.
God, you're good, Dave.
So Broderick has a question writing. I don't really have a question for y'all.
Okay.
But do you have some for me?
Oh, yes.
Who are you and what are you doing?
I will answer any question you have, be it easy, super easy, or anything in between. Don't be shy. There are dumb questions. But please be patient for my replies. Thank you so much. Any questions for Broderick?
Firstly, I have 2. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Second question is, okay, you got 5 fingers on one hand. Different liquid comes out of each of them. What are they?
So
We've discussed this extensively. I want to hear your answers.
Yeah, please, Broderick. If you want to hear, we normally say who's asking a question and answer the question.
Sure.
Jess has already done that in 2
Hot
previous
coffee,
episodes.
iced coffee, a premixed margarita, lemonade. I forgot what my last water. Probably.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Broderick. I'd love to hear your response. And at the top of it, please remind us that we asked you that question.
Yeah.
The next one comes from Swibesy himself, Andy Swibes.
Swibesy.
I mean, unspoken, but Hoogsy's also going to be involved.
Yeah.
His partner, who I nearly always forget the name because it's too good to remember.
Yeah.
Hoogsy.
It's too good. It's too good. It's
Had
unfair.
a great time with Swibesy and Hoogsy in Chicago. Anyway, Swibesy writes, firstly, Swibesy's title is Appreciative Partner. And I think this is the first time we got one of these. It's labelled Love Brag.
Ooh, I love a love brag.
Oh, man, I hope it's a Hoogsy-related one. Otherwise,
it's going to be awkward as shit.
That would be awkward as shit. All right. Swibesy writes, this is an appreciation love brag fact. My love, my partner, my wife, Hoogsy, is the best. Thank God it's still Hoogsy.
Thank God.
I've been in the trenches since February, studying for my provisional engineering exam in mechanical engineering for HVAC, and during that time, Hoogsy has taken on so much more than they've needed to give me the space and comfort to study. Why are you studying in the trenches?
That's crazy. What a place to study.
Do it at a library or something.
Yeah, at home. You don't have to go to a trench for that.
Yeah, HVAC as well. I think that'd be much more appropriate to do it like in an air-conditioned place.
Here's the thing. Swibesy didn't write in for criticism.
That's a good point.
It was a love brag.
Sorry about that.
Keep the love brag going.
Sorry, Swibesy.
We love love.
he goes on to say, of Hoogsy, in that time, she's taken the lead in finding us a new home in a new state and countless other daily tasks for us in capitals. It was us in capitals.
She's a patriot. Always doing stuff for
always
US.
doing stuff for the US.
I love US. No way.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Countless other daily tasks for us as a team, and I don't know how to thank her. Putting this little fact quote or question out there to show her my love and appreciation is the best, but the least I can do. I'm pretty sure Hoogsy got Swibes into the pod, by the way.
That's nice.
Wow.
I took my exam Wednesday, and I hope to have good news about the results by the time this gets read out.
Can't wait for another brag soon, please.
Yeah, love
Or,
brag.
No.
or can we... This is a love brag. What about a sad brag? Failed.
We'd still love you.
Yeah.
So it's still a love brag.
Once it does, I'll post about it, the results, in the Facebook group. I know no matter the results, this group will know how to make me feel amazing. Much love to you all. That's been a really nice thing in the Facebook group recently. People will come in and say, this awful thing's happened. Any chance you can just give me some good vibes or chat or whatever?
It's so
Very
nice.
sweet.
And I like that a few times recently we've had people use the fact quarter question to just like shout out to a good friend or their partner or so. It's so nice. You big, beautiful dorks are so lovely. What a nice community. And that's so lovely, Swibesy.
Swibesy finishes with a PS. We're moving out of Chicago and away from Gary. But we are moving closer to Creamies. But we will for sure be back in town no matter what for any North American tour that comes through Chicago. And if you come close to the Toronto or upstate New York, there's a good chance I'll try to go to whatever show is near there too. Ha ha. Sorry for the lounge one. Cheers.
The lounge one?
It says lounge.
Okay.
It could be, that could just be American lingo.
How is lounge spelled?
Long with an E. Tom DeLonge.
Solange.
Sorry for the Tom DeLonge one.
Hey.
Which, if I knew it was a Tom DeLonge one, I'd this is an impression. Like he sings funny. All right. Next one comes from, is that pretty good? Dave?
Pretty good.
A great Delange.
Losing my tiny mind if I ever had it. Cheryl Engelsman writes the next one, writing thief of facts that were given freely and still mother of a giant Todd. Oh, that's right. Cheryl's got the huge dog.
That's right.
That for some reason I misspoke and called it a big Todd.
No, I think Cheryl had written like a giant toddler and then was talking about the weight of this toddler and we were like, what the fuck? But it's a dog.
That's right.
It's a dog. Cheryl got us.
Right, that's a big Todd.
We were like, no judgment to this toddler, but that's got to be medical. Like
that is a thick set Todd. Can my new name in the group be thick set Todd?
I'm changing it right now, babe. Do you want double D or?
You can't really ask, so that's up to you. But I tell you what, if I was Brussels, I want double D because he's the guy who likes. Anyway,
thick set Todd coming up.
I remember I googled heaviest toddler, and now I'm doing it again. Please.
So Cheryl is giving us a shout out / stolen fact and dog update. Yes, I'm abusing the system. All right, long stolen fact from my old work bestie at the Denver Art Museum, Bethany. Purple love heart. Michelangelo, my absolute favorite hero, absolute hero and favorite grump. All right, this is the fact. Michelangelo didn't like painting. To him, the superior art form was sculpture and viewed painting as something beneath him as an artist. However, Pope Julius II, I don't know where he stands sexually activeness-wise, Dave.
I'll look him up for you.
He had different plans for his favorite artist and insisted that Michelangelo was the man needed to create his vision of the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Michelangelo tried to refuse the commission many times. He wanted more than anything to continue work on the papal tomb and suggested that Raphael would be perfect for the job. Cool but rude. Unfortunately, the Pope only had eyes for Michelangelo, so reluctantly, he began work. He spent most of his time working on scaffolding in extremely uncomfortable positions. Apparently, it is heavily debated on what type of position. Interesting. He refused to allow anyone to see his work before he felt it was ready, including the Pope. Dave, do you have any update on the Pope?
Yes, Julius II. Yes, sexually active. Offspring, 3 daughters. 3 illegitimate daughters.
Same woman, 3 women.
One was 20 years before his election as Pope.
Okay.
And one was 8 And 12 years after his enthronement as a bishop. So, looks like...
Yuck.
I was about to say he sounds like a Saints player because they have a lot of girls. And so we never get father-son players. But...
What's in the water at the bloody Swans?
The Saints, yeah.
Saints. I don't know how I said Swans.
Yeah. Well, they're a wetter mascot, I guess.
Yeah.
A swan.
And he said he was nicknamed Warrior Pope, Battle Pope, or the Fearsome Pope.
Oh, they are all really good.
Battle Pope? Are you kidding me? Can you imagine Battle Popes?
Dave, can you quickly
great
update?
Show.
Can you just update Dave's
Battle
nickname in the
Pope.
chat to Battle Pope?
I was just thinking he needs a change because you are still currently Dick Glug.
Oh, yeah. I'm Battle Pope now,
Are you
please.
happy to be Battle Pope?
Love it.
Fantastic.
It's really fun.
I will remain Daddy.
Okay, where am I up to? So, Julius II, the sexually active Pope, being the Pope and most powerful political figure, would often try to come in during his work. Michelangelo would absolutely freak out. He would yell and throw things at him every time he dared to enter without permission. At one point, Michelangelo decided he had enough and fled in the night, going home to Florence. Florence Pugh? The Pope... Florence the Pope. The Pope was pissed and sent people after him. Michelangelo and Julius II were kind of buds in a very loose sense, but the fact that the Pope sent people after him really upset Michelangelo. Slightly embarrassed, he came back, he apologized and got back to work, creating one of the most famous paintings in history. Extra fact, it wasn't until the 1980s that people realized Michelangelo was a genius colorist. The ceiling had been heavily caked in smoke and soot from all the candles in the room over the centuries.
Oh, wow.
That during restoration efforts, it was revealed to everyone's amazement to be completely in colour. They assumed he was simply a genius monochromatic painter. Also, the giant Todd, i.e. my Great Dane, how do you say Saoirse? Saoirse. It's in the Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saoirse. My Great Dane Saoirse is doing awesome and still waiting for pet merch. Sorry for the long FQQ. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Cheryl's a big advocate for pet merch.
Yeah.
Keeps coming up a lot.
We are. Yeah, we should. We've said that in the past, but yeah, we just got to remember to do it.
Sure. I don't know where you get pet merch made.
Let us know, Cheryl.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, that's got to be a thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe like the Phrasing the Bar thing we did recently. We do it like a pre-order, so because the fear is you get a bunch made, and then people are like, oh, we were only joking.
Yeah, we don't want this.
We don't. Even
want my
this.
dog's like, no, thank you.
Wait, did you think we meant that?
That's so embarrassing for you.
We did not mean that. The last one this week comes from Jocelyn Kravitz. Any relation? To my friend Jocelyn Burke. Jocelyn Kravitz, aka resident purveyor of depressing but important facts about women's health. Oh, good one to finish on. And Jocelyn's fact is Matt and Dave will have to make the determination of whether these facts are grim, dull, or both. But I will go out on a limb that Jess will agree they are not fun. Women and men have heart attacks at similar rates, but women are more likely to die as a result. Oh my God, that is a grim fact, I would say. Women make up about 78% of patients with autoimmune diseases. Women are more likely to have chronic pain than men, but are less likely to receive treatment.
Mm-hmm. Or research.
Endometriosis.
So close.
Can you say it again?
Endometriosis.
Me. Give me a note. Say again.
Endometriosis.
Endometriosis is estimated to affect approximately 10 to 15% of women of reproductive age. However, women with this extremely painful and life-disrupting condition go undiagnosed for an average of 4 to 11 years from the onset of symptoms. For more information on how medical science has failed women since the advent of medical science and what the Office of Research on Women's Health at the National Institute of Health is doing about it, check out their website, orwh.od.nih.gov. Stay tuned for future depressing facts about structural racism in medical science. That's something to look forward to. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Dave, I'm going to say yes, all grim facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd back you on the grim, I'd say.
Yeah, and I don't think it's fun.
Okay.
No, not boring either.
Not dull.
Yeah, not dull.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn, Cheryl, Andy, and Broderick for those facts, quotes, and questions. The next thing we like to do is thank a few of our other fantastic supporters. Jess normally comes up with a bit of a game for these. These are people who are on the shout-out level or above.
Well, I think we work as a team and we come up with FP initials for them.
Okay, so one of us reads out the name, one does
two.
F, one does P.
Yep.
Do you want me to do the names or do you want to do the names, Dave?
Yeah, I'm happy to do the names.
All right.
I
Go
got
on.
them here. I
Go
got
on.
them here.
Bloody
You've been
go
reading
on
a bit over
You
there.
do F, I do P.
All right.
Okay, our first FP off the rank this week from Montreal in Canada. A big hello and thank you to simply Gabrielle.
Fancy
Pal.
pal. It's like dog food, but it's fancier.
Fancier.
Fancy pal.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Your last name probably starts with an A if you want to know who you are, but we've only got your first name, so we don't want to give it away. Our next person from location unknown to us, not supplied, so we think they're probably hiding deep within the Fortress of the Moles, I can only presume. Thank you to Sam Shaw.
Frisky
Palomino.
Ooh,
Frisky Palomino.
That's a frisky Palomino.
I don't know if you could tell. There was a split second there. I forgot what letter it was.
I thought you were just going pal again. You did.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see how many pals he can do.
This is so spooky.
Oh my god, what?
I've just Googled Palomino, and the number one thing that comes up is Ancestry.com. Palomino family history, and the sentence is, the Palomino family name was founded in the USA in 1920. In that year, there was one Palomino family living in Connecticut.
Oh, okay. Because that's what the story goes back to. I thought it was going to be in Frisky.
Yeah.
Still, we're talking about Connecticut, which is a state we don't mention as often as a lot of states.
That's true.
I think I meant the horse kind, though.
Palomino.
What did I say?
Yeah. You said Palomino.
All right, I just...
All right, good game's a good game.
From Cardiff, but not that Cardiff. I'm talking about New South Wales.
Oh!
Thank you to simply Joe, Joe.
Freaky
Primrose.
Oh!
That's a good name for a horse.
That is pretty good. Freaky
Freaky
Primrose.
Put that in the horse name generator. I'd be happy with that. Freaky Primrose.
What does Primrose mean? Doesn't matter.
Flower?
Quick game's a good game. Yeah.
Thank you,
right,
Joe. We love you, Joe. From Woodbridge, you're never going to believe it. In Connecticut.
What the actual fuck?
What is going on?
What the fuck?
Thank you to Tara Moore Lawless.
Fashionable.
Pharmaceuticals.
That sounds like the worst chemist to go to.
But it sounds like something that you're going to start plugging on Instagram.
Yeah. Thanks to my, I've just got this package delivered from Fashionable Pharmaceuticals. Let's do an unboxing
Now I
together.
can look great and feel great.
To feel good on the outside and feel good on the inside.
I'd like to thank now.
Thanks, Fashionable Pharmaceuticals. I'm going to be an influencer any day now. Just you wait.
You're ready. From Speldhurst in Great Britain, it is Rachel and Phil.
Okay. Have I already said funky? I think I have said funky.
You have said funky.
Okay. Flirty.
Principal. Oh, that's
Flirty
so good.
principal. Well, it's fine if they're flirting with an adult, like
Yeah,
another
with-
person.
with the
like
parents.
it's just a principal who's gone out for a drink after work and flirts with someone. That's fine.
A principal is a person as well,
Yeah.
with needs, with wants.
If they're flirting with
They're really defensive of
yeah.
Am I not allowed to speak to a person of the opposite sex?
Just because I'm a principal, do I not bleed?
Thank you. That's for, and that is an impression of Rachel and Phil. I would like to thank now from Billingstad in Norway.
Ooh.
Very excited to say thank you and hello to Lynn Marin Anonsen. Lynn Marin Anonsen. Or Arnonsen. It's a double A.
Frosty.
Publican.
Ooh, that's good.
You don't want to cross that guy.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you want a drink, do you? All right.
Oh, but I'm not going to open up and tell you about my life or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm not going to ask about yours, right?
Let me tell you, I'm a closed book, all right?
All right.
You're not going to ask for change.
You'll
for
read
50.
that on page 1. Tell you that. Closed book.
Closed book.
You won't get it. I'm not on page 2. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm off book now, if anything.
I know my lines.
I know.
I don't know my rights. Wallaby. No, good idea. Thanks for stopping by.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. No, you're good
Really
value.
warmed
You're
up.
actually a good value.
Warmed up immediately.
Yeah, you buy a couple of pints, I really like you.
Yeah.
I'm
You stick
desperate.
around. You get to know me.
And I would like to thank from Green Bay in Wisconsin, hello and thank you to Chris 22891.
Ah, Chris. Big fan of your work. I just had one and I lost it. Fantastic.
Prancer.
Ooh.
Another horse.
Yeah, we're going really, really horsey.
Fancy Prancer would have been better, but
Yeah.
we're
Sorry.
not quite in sync. No, that's me.
I know, but I feel like I let you down.
Fantastic Prancer.
That's pretty good.
Chris 22891. And now we've got two final ones. Location unknown for both of these people. Deep within the fortress, we can only assume it's Evan Wellbrock.
Fiery.
Politician.
Oh,
you
aren't
don't-
they bloody all? Hey, aren't they bloody all?
Well, I wish we saw a bit of fire, bit of passion.
Yeah.
Just in there collecting a paycheck.
Yeah.
A better backbone. Is it too much to ask?
Yeah.
That's right, that's bloody the house of jellyfish, I'd call them.
Not a spine in that room. Not a spine amongst them.
What about you get his influence in there? You're flipping and flopping around. I want to piss on you, I know. That's been debunked by science now. Their stings can't be sold by piss, but I don't care. I piss on a lot of you.
Can you threaten to piss on politicians?
I'm picturing real jellyfish.
Oh, okay, great. Can you threaten to piss on real jellyfish?
Yeah.
Great.
That's your right. And finally, I'd like to thank, from location, also unknown, withheld, thank you to James Speyer.
Floppy.
Planet.
Oh,
nice.
boy, that's not good, is it? Oh, dear.
Is that the jellyfish have taken over?
Flop. Oh, I see we got floppy. Planet. Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but I guess would that be a gas giant? Gas is pretty floppy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Floppy gas.
Or you're like a jelly planet. You know what I mean?
Like jelly in your butt.
Because you know how. Who told you about that? Yeah, the universe is like.
He stared at me for quite some time just then.
Who told you I was muling jelly?
In condoms.
Powdered jelly? Or jello, perhaps?
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Okay.
dear. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, no, we're not done. Okay.
One last thing.
The one last thing. I'm like, and done.
We're good to go.
No, we've got the most important thing to do of all, and that is to welcome some of our fantastic supporters into the Triptych Club, which Dave will explain really well right now.
This is our Hall of Fame, our clubhouse where we enshrine people that have supported the show already on the shout-out level or above for 3 consecutive years. Already given them a shout-out a year or two ago, but to enshrine them forever, we put their name up on a plaque on the wall and welcome them in to our clubhouse, our theatre of the mind, lounge, hangout zone.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Like it's a food hall, a food court.
Don't touch my air hockey table.
Yeah, touch anything you like except the air hockey table. We've got Daytona.
Yeah.
We got Time Crisis.
Yeah.
We got Big Buck
three of those basketball shooting things so we can all play together.
Really fun.
Got Battletoads.
Yeah,
We've got Battletoads
Battletoads.
and Battle Pope.
Yeah.
That's
Battle
Dave.
Popes.
That's me. And I usually book a band, but before we get to that, Jess, you are behind the bar in charge of snacks, drinks.
Yeah. So what I've been trying to do is like I've been experimenting this week in the kitchen, trying to make some like hors d'oeuvres that will explode
Ooh.
with flavour.
Perfect.
But what I have actually done is made hors d'oeuvres that explode. So I would be careful. 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. It's hard to say.
Will blow your mouth off or?
No, it's not like it won't. It's not. It won't. Well, it's a little hard to say the level of damage that will be done. But more than anything, it'll probably be a bit like when you bite your tongue and it's a bit sore for a couple of days. It'll be that sort of thing. But yeah. So there's that, and I do apologise for that.
But you're doing your best.
I'm doing my best.
I think it's important people know that.
Thank you.
Okay?
Dave, you've booked a band. Who
You're
have you
never
got?
going to believe it.
What?
Remind me of the topic this week.
The Mad Bomber of New York?
Amazing, because I've booked the New York Dolls.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's right.
The same New York? Any relation?
Yeah. Can you believe it? Formed
No.
in New York City in 1971 with members including Ricky Rivets.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
Ricky
we've got
Rivets.
Ricky Rivets.
They are Ricky Rivets.
Are you kidding me? I've been saying for years I
Incredible.
want Ricky Rivets.
Who's the guy? Was one of the New York Dolls in A Very Murray Christmas?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know because have you watched it, Dave?
I have watched it once. And
I've never watched it. You watch it every Christmas.
It was awful.
Yeah, we can never follow you when you want to reference it because we don't know it. And I'm sorry. Is Amy Poehler in that?
Yeah, Amy Poehler's in it. It's an all-star cast, but
Amy
yeah.
Poehler.
But the cast couldn't save it.
I rewatched Groundhog Day recently. That was a bit of fun.
Holds up all right.
And then I watched Palm Springs, which is another
I love Palm Springs.
Palm Springs rules. It's Andy Samberg at his absolute hottest.
I love that kind of show. Yeah.
But I cannot stress enough how hot Andy Samberg is in it.
Really?
Yeah. Something about it.
Never thought
He's
of
in
him
his
as
absolute
like a
peak hotness.
super hot guy.
Well,
but like very
watch Palm Springs on Amazon Prime now. Anyway, we have some people to welcome in.
Yes, we got people to welcome in, and should I start doing it? Is that where we're up to?
Your only fucking job.
All right,
Yes.
so I'll read out the names.
Hurry up, I want to play air hockey.
These are new inductees. Matt reads them out. I hype them up. Jess hypes me up.
Yeah.
Dave hypes them up based on sort of weak wordplay, based on their name or their place of origin.
Unbelievable. His attitude is
No,
horrendous.
I'm setting everyone's expectations correctly. Because imagine going, and he's the best at it. And
Well,
then
yeah,
they
and then
hear,
I eclipse even the
I'm trying to look after you.
You're an absolute monster.
What? First up, I'd love to thank and welcome, please, if you hear your name, please jog on in and let Dave hype you up from Vancouver in BCCA. It's Neil McLean.
I'm on the highway to the McLeanger zone.
Okay, that's maybe the best one you've ever done.
Thanks,
British
Jack.
Columbia in Canada, I reckon. From Rome in general admission, United States, probably Georgia. It's Matt Cosby.
Cosby. What's the Gospy with Matt Cosby?
That's fun, yes.
From Kelvin Grove in Queensland, Australia. Please welcome in Flick French.
Some people like their night to be, or their house to be spick and span, but I prefer mine to be flick and span.
And finally,
Flick French.
From Address Unknown. Can only assume from deep within the fortress of the mole. Please welcome in Peter McWhorter.
What, Jess, what do you got? You got something here?
Squirter.
It's got to be. You're making me so excited. I'm a
gotta be
squirter.
I'm squirting here. I'm McWhorting here.
I'm sure Peter McWhorter's never got
Yeah,
something
let's
like
never
that
got
before.
the squirter
There's got to
before.
be something else we could, who McWhorter you instead of who hurt you?
Yeah.
Who McWhorter you? Tell us about your trauma.
We're so excited to meet you. We're gonna Pete out on this for years, like dine out on, but Pete, like eat.
Oh, yeah, okay, great.
Is that the sort of bad stuff you try and do? I'm trying to do a bad like you.
That's too bad.
Okay.
Even Dave wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's awful. Peter McWhorter.
I want to Pete you out. You know, like I want
That's
to meet
better.
you out on the town.
That's better. That's better. Let's go with that one. I want to Pete you out.
Yeah, I'm gonna all night long,
All night long.
till you. All right. Oh my God, Peter, welcome in. Ed and AJ as necessary. Welcome in, Peter, Flick, Matt, and Neil. What else do we need to tell people just before we boot this baby home?
Well, like I bloody said at the start of the episode that you're going to go back and listen to now because you obviously listened to the Patreon section last. But anybody can suggest a topic. So if there's a story that you would like to hear us talk about and go on dogshit riffs about, put it in the hat. There's a link in the show notes. It's also on our website, which is dogoonpod.com. And you can find us on social media at dogoonpod and Do Go On Podcast on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, give us a follow.
David
For the love of
Johansen.
God.
David Johansen from Very Merry Christmas is also from the New York Dolls.
Okay, there you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Well done.
How about that?
Anyway, Dave, beat this baby home.
Don't beat this baby, Dave.
Boot it.
Boot it.
We'll be back next week with another fantastic episode. And I'm just looking up David Johansen, also known for his work under the pseudonym Buster Poindexter.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's fantastic. We'll be back next week with another episode. But until then, thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.
Are you ready for Hulu Animayhem? Well, get ready, because Hulu Animayhem is your animation destination to watch full seasons and new episodes of your favorite shows, like Family Guy, Futurama, Solar Opposites, Hit Monkey, Bob's Burgers, and many, many, many more. So get ready to be bowled over, have your socks knocked off, and get thrown for a loop, all in one convenient streaming location. Hulu Animayhem, your animation destination. Now streaming on Hulu.
Need new glasses or want a fresh new style? Warby Parker has you covered. Glasses start at just $95, including anti-reflective, scratch-resistant prescription lenses that block 100% of UV rays. Every frame's designed in-house with a huge selection of styles for every face shape. And with Warby Parker's free home try-on program, you can order 5 pairs to try at home for free. Shipping is free both ways, too. Go to warbyparker.com/covered to try 5 pairs of frames at home for free. warbyparker.com/covered.